jumping, don't quit. Chasing the same dream, we all are on the same team. Let's go! It's our time to shine, leave doubts far behind. It's our time to show how far we can go. Though they may not see, we show what we can be. It's on you and me, just wait and you'll see. It's our time to show the world who we are. It's our time to shine, we are the rising stars. Our time to shine it. Yeah!
You ever wondered how a Hollywood movie is shot? On a Sony. You review it on a Sony. And how do you make that sound epic? You record it on a Sony. Lunch break on a Sony. So why wouldn't you watch it on a Bravia by Sony?
Have you got what it takes to get to the top? It doesn't matter how high you climb. To reach the top, even the biggest champ needs a break. So you can recharge, dive back in, and dominate. Have a break. Have a Kit Kat.
Every few seconds, the next basic attack will deal additional true damage based on hybrid defense to the target and surrounding units. Hitting enemy heroes will permanently increase hybrid defense. Skypiercer, Dealing damage to a low HP enemy hero executes the target immediately, and each kill increases the execution threshold. Winter Crown. It now features adaptive attributes that apply to all heroes, and its active skill grants immunity to all damage and effects for a short duration. Malefic Gun. Increases basic attack range to kite the enemies more easily.
Okay. found their souls ripped asunder. So eager to share their fate.
By oath and blade, your reign ends here.
Every few seconds, the next basic attack will deal additional true damage based on hybrid defense to the target and surrounding units. Hitting enemy heroes will permanently increase hybrid defense. Skypiercer. Dealing damage to a low HP enemy hero, execute the target immediately, and each kill increases the execution threshold. Winter Crown. It now features adaptive attributes that apply to all heroes, and its active skill grants immunity to all damage and effects for a short duration. Malefic Gun. Increases basic attack range to kite the enemies more easily.
Okay.
Just like you and me, finding our destiny. Though we may not see, I'll prove what I can be. Aren't we all the same? We're deep in the game. They say this is lame, but we have our own aim. No fear, prove it. Rise up and do it. Chasing the same dream, we all are on the same
Assalamualaikum, Sandstorm.
Walaikum salam, Mara.
I can't believe this is the last day of MSC 2024 and probably the last day we're going to see one of these keys.
I know, right? We finally reached the end of our journey. We finally reached the best of 7 grand finals. Falcons, AP Bren, Selangor Red Giants. But only one team will be able to unlock that trophy.
But you know what I've been meaning to ask you?
Tell me.
If you won $1 million US, what would you do with it?
It's quite a lot of money. You know what? I'm kind of torn, but I would say, like, I'd still want to go down the logical route, you know, invest, buy a house, and just secure my future, you know? What about you? What would you do?
Well, definitely I'll give half to my parents so they can invest and retire. And for me, I think I'm going to put up a business and make it grow.
I like that. You know, we're very responsible with our choices, but what do you think the players will do with $1 million?
Well, hopefully they'll do something great with it. They can do whatever they want with it, but definitely they deserve it.
They do. It's been a very intense 2 weeks, and I think we should get this started. You know, I can't wait anymore. I want to see it. I want to see what happens.
We should get this started. See you at the Amazon Arena.
Today is the day we've all been waiting for. It's the grand finals of MSC, where we have reached the pinnacle of the journey to see the world, where the stakes are even higher, where both teams have secured 500,000 USD each, but only the champion gets to walk away with the astonishing $1 million US. It's not all about the money, it's not all about the prize pool, it's about the pride as well as the glory. Can Selangor Red Giants etch their name in the new competitive landscape? Or will Falcons AP Brand finally secure the elusive MSC title? My name is Afel, and welcome to the Mid-Season Cup 2024 here at the Esports World Cup. The moment the world has been waiting for has finally arrived. Welcome to the grand finals of the Mid-Season Cup 2024 here at the Esports World Cup. My name is Afel. Alongside with me is our analyst, Wolf, as well as Leo. And looks like I'm a bit outnumbered here. How are you guys feeling for today?
I wouldn't see it as that, Lafel, because we're all friends here. And
of course,
I am as well celebrating Malaysia's birth into the grand finals. And I'm sure it's the same for all the Filipinos watching as well.
More than anything else, I know that this will be a banger of a series. We know for sure that it will be very close. I'm happy that it is Selangor Red Giants that a Philippine team will meet in the grand finals, because I'm sure it will be action-packed.
And now we got to look at our grand final casters. Let's look at Mirko as well as Gideon. How are you guys feeling for this grand finals?
As you can tell based on how we're dressed today, we're excited to see this grand slam from both of these teams, and hopefully they're going to go the full distance here, Mirko.
Any team that wins, I feel like, will already have an amazing story. For Falcons AP Bren, they get the complete trophy set, and for SRG, if they can pull it off, invincible run.
I mean, again, that's amazing, because here's the thing. SRG already made history just by entering the grand finals. If they win this one, that's going to be a whole new start for the region.
In the history of MLBB Esports, there's only ever one other time that Malaysia found itself in the grand finals, and that was the SEA Games.
Oh, yeah.
2023 in Cambodia. But that aside, every other mainline international event that we have organized, Malaysia's always just
not close enough.
And when it comes to storylines, both of these teams are in that trust the process kind of a mindset. That's very true for a side of Falcons AP Brand, dating back to what, 2022, the end of 2022,
yeah.
for quarter 4. And then for Selangor Red Giants, they have just been starting their own journey. Coach Arcadia, this is a team that he is built around, it's scouted around, and have developed all throughout the months.
Yeah.
And we know for sure that it is going to be a good battle of approaches to coaching as well.
And now we're getting to re-witness what happened yesterday when SRG made history. Let's look at yesterday's recap.
That was a beautiful dance indeed. Sakai's now coming in, but no one's able to connect. Vanix finally falls, and that is huge for SRG. Both damage dealers off the map. Unbeaten.
They might go for a hit.
They just keep going. Hume's gonna get way of the dragon back. Vanix gonna connect, and Vanix finds the kill.
It's going to be history in the making. Watching that gave me goosebumps because, again, it is making history, but also the birth of the Sky Prince Skies. He performed amazing yesterday.
And unfortunately for NIP Flash, they're the team that didn't, perform as advertised. I was sort of, upset that won the 3-0 because I do want to see them battle for 5, but it is what it is. SRG were far more prepared.
All right, you know what? Say what you will about how Singapore performed yesterday, but I think they've already gone further than anyone expected.
That's also true.
Me included, but if you'll recall, I predicted that they would actually go through to the next round from the quarters, and that proves that they are more than just a flash in the nip.
You know what? I love that. Speaking of loving, honestly, I love NIP Flash's performance throughout MSC, and I feel like it's one of those teams that you guys got to be prepared for when we're going to M6. Speaking of which, before we even talk about that, let's actually look at the Pepsi's top reactions. Thank you.
Grab the pen of fate and write their own history.
All smiles and all excitement when we're looking at the camp of SRG. Of course, looking very good. But again, still want to give a big shout out to NIP Flash, specifically Diablo. On the Benedetta, he got a 7-0 run. It's like, that was amazing.
I think he gave his heart out for sure, and I think the entirety of NIP Flash as well did. However, I think it boiled down to really just the draft choices from both teams, and SRG really did prepare for NIP Flash, which means that against Falcons AP Brand, they will surely be prepared.
I got a little bit of insight on that, but for now, we got to check out our Aramco top 5 plays. And while we're looking at the top plays here, I actually got to talk to the coach of NIP Flash, Adamir, and he was like, it was an experience fighting against Coach Arcadia in the draft.
Yeah.
Everything that he planned for did not happen.
Okay.
Like, he was expecting A, B, and C to happen, and then Coach Arcadia and Coach Vecchi went X, Y, and Z.
You know what? I think that is perfect. Coming from a BS Information Systems graduate, that is Arcadia, comes from my very alma mater. Yeah, no, legit. He graduated in 2012. Yeah. So right. The programming is in him.
Yeah.
Yeah, but again, looking at the plays here, a lot of flashy plays because we got to talk about how yesterday it was all fights.
Yeah. I think this is the tempo that NIP Flash wanted to fight up around anyways. they really like to brawl. Unfortunately, SRG just had more comfortable draft. And I think that even in the game where they could have actually won it, they had this interesting draft round, the early game.
Yeah.
I know that it will eventually fail. They performed in the early stages, but just one mistake was all it took for SRG to take over.
Which is literally the epitome of the saying, they had us in the first half.
Yeah.
There were 2 of the 3 games, I think, that NIP Flash was winning in the early game really hard. And again, that's the magic of Selangor Giants. They just know how to find that fulcrum, that pivot point, that jiu-jitsu roll into the control point, and then they're suddenly on top.
You want to know what interesting thing that Diablo said?
What'd he say?
It was a shame the Lord wasn't on our side. Because it's like the Lord is for sure Malaysia. I can't believe he said it to me, you know, like face to face. At least he watched the panel segment, so that's cool.
I love it. I love that.
Yeah.
And most importantly, like Hades, for example, also he talked about the fact that sometimes you just have a bad day, and it was definitely the bad day for NIP Flash. Some teams actually, and even Coach Arcadia himself believes in that kind of approach where there will be sometimes a person or a player will just have a bad day. It just so happened that it was the time that they were getting eliminated. He told me about that when Fnatic Onyx actually lost. It kind of felt like it was just their bad day.
Speaking of Fnatic Onyx, let's check out the full bracket here, and let's talk about the journey both teams had to go through in the bracket.
It's a long journey. Compared to the M Series, not as long, but maybe twice as brutal. Because look, we started with 8 teams, now down to 2. A single slip up, a series lost means you can no longer get to that $1 million.
Exactly. It's like double it or
give it to the next person.
Or nothing.
Literally.
Or nothing. Yeah.
Actually.
I mean, we got to talk about the fact that single eliminations, if this was a double elimination, it could be a much different story. But look at this. Falcons AB Brand defeated See You Soon, defeated Team Liquid Echo, as well as looking at Selangor Red Giants. They beat Fireflux, they beat NIP Flash, and now they're here. Now, we're at the grand finals.
A dominant run for Falcons AP Brand, almost, actually, literally losing only 1 game, right? The entirety of their runs so far.
To Liquid Echo.
To Liquid Echo.
Which was in itself a turnaround.
Yeah, but the thing is, while we're talking about how amazing this grand finals is going to be, we got to talk about how amazing the upcoming tournament M6 is going to be. So we prepared a special M6 video for you guys.
Whoa.
Welcome to M1 World Championship.
M2 World Champions. World Champions. Blacklist. M4 World Champions. World Champions.
M Series is back in Malaysia, and we are as excited as you are to witness this incredible event. We welcome you. Selamat datang ke
Dude, I'm hyped! It's back in Axiata Arena. It's gonna be the same venue as M1.
Yep.
You've been there, Wolf.
Yep. I was sort of hoping that, you know, me and Gideon might, you know, pop up in some of those clips.
Yeah. But with that being said, something else that we got to talk about. We got to talk about MWI. Starting on July 24th is the female pro players' time to shine. Catch the MLBB Women's Invitational 2024, where 12 teams from 11 regions break barriers and redefine esports. Now, I do have to say, I like that during the grand finals, we all look good. And if you want to look good, you need skins. The Soul Vessel Skin Series, Amon Vessel of the Seed, as well as Hanabi Vessel of Rage are now available. You guys have up until the 5th of August to claim these awesome skins. The first draw is 50% off every single day. And a permanent Soul Vessel Series item is guaranteed in the first 10 draws. So make sure you guys join in now. And I gotta say, MSC so far has been amazing, especially because of Win a Crown, fool! The Project Next update is live. Discover the fresh excitement of equipment evolution and enjoy a revitalized, thrilling gameplay. Jumping now for a more dynamic and fun battle experience. Speaking of which, Leo, I asked the guys, but I gotta ask you, do you have a kid?
I have 2 children, Cubs and Castle.
Well, you know what? You can bring them over to the Youth Fair because the Youth Fair is here with incredible bonuses and exciting events. Grab multiple permanent skins for free, just like Sylvana's Classroom Charm and its painted skin Classroom Glam. More exciting events will be revealed, so make sure you guys watch out. And now we gotta go back and talk about Selangor Red Giants going up against Falcons AP brand. This is the final stop to see the world.
Indeed it is.
I'd hate to say
Indeed
that no one saw this coming, but I think a good chunk of us, me included,
yeah, I mean, we saw it coming.
Given the fact that the brackets are the way they are,
yeah,
and it's a single eliminations, this was the only way it could end.
Yeah.
All roads lead to this.
I had a wager with Mirko, and he did not believe me. Now I am a burger meal reacher.
A burger meal reacher. Now,
I wish I was part of that.
Here's the thing. Like, we got to talk about predictions as well. This was like weeks before. You and me, we actually said Selangor Giants would eventually be the champions, but going up against Falcon AP brand with how they've been shown.
I said grand finalist.
I saw the social media posts.
I did.
At least.
I actually did.
No. At least we said one of the grand finalists, because most of them, that is not even here.
You're right.
Mirko said homeboys. Thank you, but stop it. Just for Mirko, you know.
Yeah.
Stop it. We gotta talk about how SRG has remained undefeated for what, 106, 107 days now.
Yeah.
But if anyone can defeat them, it's probably Falcons AP brand.
Yeah, or Team Liquidego if they got yeah. No, I'm just kidding. But I think I like that you pointed it out because SRG as well as Falcons AP, there's a lot of like rumors, especially because they were kind of screaming against each other. It kind of feels like it's always like just an even day, or sometimes Falcons AP also not winning against SRG. So this means that they are equally strong. They're equally matched in these grand finals.
But just the same, you could chalk this up to not just their players, but even their coaches. You already mentioned how Coach Arcadia is a big part of their success now because of how he's so well programmed, how he understands the ebbs and flows of this draft is maybe because, and this could be to their advantage, he comes from the same school of thought as Coach Lucky. They both come from the deep organization that is once known as AP brand. They've been together for years. Yeah. There was a time when they were in the same facility.
Right. That's absolutely right.
And with that being said, we got to talk about the history of MSC. So let's check it out. This is from the very first one, IDNS, and then afterwards is Aether Main, Onyx Esports won 2019, Execration won 2021, RSGPH, I still remember that one. That was in Malaysia. Woo! And the final one was Onyx Esports. So all those names, neither of them are in the grand finals for today.
That's actually right.
Yeah.
But some of the important franchises are, I believe this was the flight of the Falcons over the Cavalry. As we saw, Flap TC was crazy. And he did not mince his words at all. On cue.
This is how I describe Flap TZ. A lot of people will question whether or not he is the best explainer in the world. I'll say his highs are unmatched.
Yeah.
Whenever Flap TZ is on fire, no one comes close.
By the way, it's confirmed he was saying adobo during that.
Adobo!
He was mouthing adobo.
He misses
adobo.
He misses Filipino food.
Okay, so adobo is the Filipino food.
Yes.
We see Flap, we see Few. And in the corner, it's just Super Marco. He's like, whatever. Speaking of which, we're also looking at Selangor Red Giants. And they came a long way as well. Where I feel like people are saying, you guys are strong, sure. But you're not grand finals strong. Before we saw the bracket, of course. Like, I feel like people thought, okay, you'll let through to the bracket, but you'll probably lose before getting there.
Yeah, I think everybody was on fire. The whole organization of SRG was on fire yesterday. Coaches and analysts, the way that they drafted the players themselves, even when they find themselves in spots where they actually lose in the early game, They will just wait for their time, farm on the proper parts of the map, and then eventually take it back, win the important clashes.
And what I love about this is you're seeing in the highlights, and this is without even watching the whole match, you can see Cram is getting his behind handed to him. Yet the whole team is still winning. That's what I love about SRG. They're all solid role players, and they know the job that they need to do.
Exactly.
And they get it done.
Yep.
Dude, honestly, Cram is solid. He's the creme de la creme.
Creme de la creme.
Creme de la creme.
Hey,
we're sticking with that one, by the way.
His taste in music is also pretty, tells me to get ready for a big day. He listens to some K-Dot, some Drizzy, 21 Savage, Travis Scott. True story.
And now, looking at this, we have a guest panelist here. It's Ingan, a Filipino talent as well. Okay, I see where the direction is here, guys.
Okay. You know, guys, I feel great. I bought Saudi silver because I know FCAP is going to bring home the gold.
You're
You know what? That's
how you celebrate.
That's good. That's actually good.
I mean, honestly, if you guys want to talk among yourselves, it's fine because I'm the odd one here.
No, by the way, you were La Filties. You were honorary Filipino since M2. Don't you remember? Are you revoking that now?
No. It's like the La Filties is still there.
Of all the times to revoke it?
Of all the times, this would probably a good time. But speaking of which, how are you feeling for today's match?
I'm really excited. I was hoping, of course, FCAP to win. But I'm giving SRG 3 games because they have 3 Filipinos.
So you do feel like it's going to go all the way?
Yeah, all the way. I want to. I'm team fans for today. I don't care about the prod.
So honestly, you're here just to enjoy yourself watching the show as we see both teams coming in to the Amazon Arena. So let me just ask you this. Are you hyped seeing Kyle Teasy showing up those assassins, the Sky Prince showing up those assassins as well? Do you think it's going to be a brawler kind of match?
Super. I mean, the assassins, the Ling, the Fannies, we've seen it from both Kyle Teasy and Sekai's. And this time, I think they're going to go head-to-head. We're going to see an exciting matchup, and I'm hoping for game number 7. But at the same time, I know FCAP's going to bring home the gold.
Here's the thing. I don't think Sekai's can bring out the Fanny because, I don't know, Fanny against FCAP sounds a bit too ambitious, if I could say.
With that attitude, it is.
All right.
He does have logic on his side. Scientifically speaking, FCAP barely bans the Fanny. If anything, they would even want it to come out the other end for them too. So
that's right. It's a Kyle Teasy special. That is what actually put Kyle Teasy's name on the map.
Yep, in his early days under teams like Alpha Esports Pro, he's been wreaking havoc on the twin cables.
You know, honestly, we're talking about the junglers here, but Ingan, obviously you're supporting Falcon CP brand. Which player we gotta look out for?
You gotta look out for Super Marco. I mean, I've been working out with Super Marco, Pando, and Ogwen.
Did you say working out?
Yeah, working out. We're lifting iron. Yeah, okay. So those guys are really locked in. They feel more confident compared to MPL Philippines Season 13. And of course, I want to see Super Marco, in his words, durugin si Innocent, hindi lang sa scrim, kundi sa tournament.
Yeah, sorry, I need a translation. You guys gotta help me out.
Durugin si Innocent in Filipino, in English, means crush Innocent, not just in scrims, but also in the tournament.
Oh! So when you guys talk about scrims, it's fine. But when I do, it's a crime.
Yeah.
We're over that. We're done. You're good. You're clear.
Yep.
Don't worry about it.
I'm not done. I'm not done.
Not until they win. No, not until
they win.
Yeah, you know what? Here's the thing. I know this is going to be an odd question. If Selangor Giants wins, how can they win? Like, what do they have to do to actually beat Falcon CP brand?
They really have to shut down Flap TZ. I mean, Flap TZ is really setting the tempo always for FCAP. And if Flap TZ is not in his zone, it can really go SRG's way.
But in experience, man, in history, the only thing that really shuts down Flap TZ is Flap TZ. A few times in the past that he actually dipped out was because of something out of his control.
Yeah, that's I was, when you asked Ingan that question, I was
good
also
answer.
Looking for an answer myself. I think it's more just about bringing the best in your players. Like, maybe look at it intrinsically. Maybe shutting down Falcons AP brand might be an ambitious, I don't know.
I mean, if you want to be a champion, you have to be ambitious, right?
That's also
you need the right mindset.
That's also very true.
Shoot for the stars.
Shoot for the stars.
Shoot for the Falcons. But yeah, I think you have to really just look at this intrinsically. Fix your draft. Make sure that you are winning some matchups. If you're not going to be winning all lanes, at least win 2 out of the 3 lanes, and then have a good jungle setup. Allow Sekais to not have the jitters, especially because it's the grand finals. This is his first international tournament.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken. Yeah, so that's also...
technically Snapdragon, but other than that, you know.
Of this caliber, I guess.
Of this caliber, yes.
Yeah. A bit of sage advice. I don't know if this is going to be part of their game plan. It's clear that even the most aggressive team in the world, Liquid Echo, could not do it. Maybe SRG shouldn't as well. Don't out-aggro Falcons AP Bren. But that leaves the question, should you be cheeky about it? Should you try to, you know, should you try to pull a fast one?
Yeah.
Because FCAP also does that. You remember in that same series, few would be pushing down bottom. Like, how is that happening?
No, honestly, that's true. And now, to hype things up even more, before we jump into the finals, let's actually have a little preview of the MSC finals.
Sa susunod na mga kalaban namin sa Grand Finals, alam kong lumalakas tayo, pero dyan lang kayo kasi alam naman ng lahat na Pilipinas pa rin ang pinakamalakas.
Walaupun tim Malaysia baru pertama kali menjejaki Grand Final di International Tournament, tapi kita orang akan pastikan our win streak akan keep going.
Ini masa kami. Hindi nyo kami matatalo.
Our pride, our passion.
Dudurugin namin kayo.
We are the Kingslayers. We are the final boss. You are next. Madaling 4-0.
Kami masih tak dikalahkan.
Lumuhod kayo sa World Champion.
Ito na ang huling laban.
Perlawanan terakhir.
Kung saan tayo magtatagpo.
Di Grand Final, di mana kita orang akan membawa balik trofi MSC. Heroes will rise.
Goosebumps. Goosebumps. Those one-liners, though. Those one-liners, though. I'm shaking. What about you guys?
You're next.
No, I'm Lapel.
It's very rare that I hear Kyle Teasy. Because again, Kyle Teasy, after knowing him for a few years now, he's the kind of player that lets his actions speak louder than his words. But when he said, bow down to the world champions, that's... I want to bow down to the world champions. I mean...
Yes, sir.
Whatever you ask, say yes.
Yes, my lord.
I mean, again, looking at that video, that's quite the preview coming up. Because again, it's gonna be a best of 7 between both teams here. So honestly, when we're talking about a best of 7, this is the thing that almost never happens. It only happened during M1.
It happened.
Is there a chance for a reverse sweep?
M5 too.
Oh, M5 too, yeah.
No, it was started about a reverse.
Oh, our full reverse.
Full reverse.
Never happened then, yeah.
Yeah, only M1.
For me, full reverse, only if FCAP's behind. But if SRG's behind, there's no way. No way.
Right. Okay, you know what? For you guys at home, who do you guys got for this match? Is it Falcons AP Brand or Selangor Red Giants? Head on over to stcplay.gg right now and lock in your predictions. So, gentlemen, very quickly, we have like, what, 1 minute something before the match starts. Give help towards our viewers. Who's going to win why? Very quickly.
Okay, FCAP, 4-2, no cap.
4-2, no cap.
FCAP 4-1. They might get, you know, 1 game off, but they'll bounce back just to quickly end the series.
FCAP 4-3. I'm giving 3 to SRG because there are 3 Filipinos.
So, it's my turn now.
Yep.
Guess what? SRG 4-3, baby. I mean, honestly, like, I'm just being humble. I feel like it is going to be a 4-0, but, you know, we got to give a little bit. But no, all jokes aside, I want it to be 4-3. Either, you know, any team wins is going to be amazing because as a Malaysian, I do have to say, just being here is already a dream come true. But with that being said, let's get into our Dr. Sulaiman Al Habib upcoming showdown between Falcons AP Brand and Selangor Red Giants. It's surreal, man. Weeks.
Yep.
From wild card to group stage, knockout stage, and now the grand finals. And honestly, I gotta cut you off there because let's look at the stage. You guys see the countdown timer, and I hope all of you guys at home, in the stage, in the studio, no matter where you are, be prepared because we're gonna start the grand finals of MSC. We're throwing it over to Maracino as well as Dawood Sandstorm.
Right now, I feel really happy and proud with myself and my team since we are achieving this kind of level. So we are really proud. We just need to be focused and be more prepared in our discipline. So, and also our stamina. That's really important for the BO7.
I think we're the ones who's gonna beat them in the grand finals. So they won't be undefeated anymore.
Now another immobile. Lydia onto the backside. Flop teasing with a dive again under the base. What are you gonna do? MP gets knocked up. And the prediction right into the quad shadow. What are they made of? Falcons aim.
I think our play style against SRG is that we are better at macro and micro.
To Falcon AP Brands, I'm really excited to meet you guys. But let's give our best and may the best win.
From shadows they emerge, unknown and unseen, forging their path from where they've been. From weakness to strength, they'll rise anew, transforming their fate, destined to pursue. See the world, their journey unfolds. Through trials and triumphs, their story is told. As the dark night falls, they'll defy. For in the depths of darkness,
After 87 games from 42 matches held in a span of 12 days, we finally reached the culmination of this competition.
From the simple yet brutally legendary wildcard stage to the unfathomable competitive landscape-shifting tournament events, of the group stage and the flurry of do or die matches of the knockout stage, we are down to the final 2 teams.
2 teams that still hold the key that symbolize their journey.
2 teams who have finally arrived at their last stop on their journey to see the world.
Ladies and gentlemen,
أيها السيدات والسادة,
welcome to the Amazon Arena. The best of 7 grand final, the final battle of MSC 2024 at the Esports World Cup is about to unfold.
And by the end of today, we will celebrate the team that will rightfully hoist the coveted MSC 2024 trophy. So without further ado, let us welcome our grand finalists.
Introducing first, from the blue side, the reigning defending world champions from the Philippines, Falcons AP brand. The Bees have never been this close to claiming the only title that has eluded them for years. After exacting revenge against their Filipino rivals, they're finally 4 victories away from making history as one of the winningest teams in MLBB history. Introducing first, the M5 Finals MVP, their explainer, Flap TZ. Filling the jungle, the golden boy, Kyle TZ. Playing mid is the timeless idol, Few. Manning the roam position is the master, Ogwin. And finally, the bulletproof gold laner himself, Super Marco. Falcons AP brand are looking to bring home Philippines' 4th MSC trophy.
And their opponents on the red side, hailing all the way from Malaysia, the unscathed, the undefeated Selangor Red Giants! These Giants, gracing us with their presence on the Amazon Arena, are continuing their undefeated journey, going on 106 days. And now, they are 1 best of 7 away. They are 1 match away from continuing this streak. And by the end of the day, if they manage to tower over their opponents, they will hoist the trophy, going on 107 days of undefeated glory. And now, we introduce our players. First of all, their XP laner, the handyman, Cram! In the jungle, the Sky Prince, Sakai's. Manning the mid is the Mage Prodigy, Stormy! And filling the roam position, the highlight maker, Yooms! And finally, the beast in the gold lane, Innocent! They have made history by giving Malaysia their first ever grand final appearance. And now they are looking to top it all off with a grand final championship title.
This is gonna be one epic battle because only one team will get to keep their key to unlock the MSC trophy.
That's right. Falcons, AP Bren, Selangor Red Giants. It is time to take your seats, for the battle is about to begin on the land of dawn. and the fates of your keys will be decided by the end of today.
And now the players are about to do their ping test with the best gaming phone in the world, fit for champions. That's Asus ROG, powered by Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 mobile platform.
That's right. Asus ROG is the official gaming phone of MSC 2024. And my God, what a journey this has been. But it is not the end of our journey with all the MLBB action, is it?
Absolutely. We're all in for a treat because right after MSC 2024, we have 12 teams from 11 regions gracing the stage to shine for MWI 2024.
That's right. It is a celebration featuring female pro players, breaking barriers and redefining esports, and that will take place starting July 24th here in the Amazon Arena in Riyadh at the Esports World Cup.
Now, this is history in the making. We have the Giants from Malaysia, first time in the grand finals of the international tournament, bringing pride and joy to Malaysia. But they're gonna have a tough match because they're gonna go up against a team, Falcons AP brand, with this roster, never losing an international grand finals.
And they are now one step away from writing their names in the history books. The Amazon Arena is set, the players are ready, and I think it's time to get the show on the road and to get this best of 7 started because I can't wait anymore. I need to know who will be crowned the champion of MSC 2024.
Let's get this on, panel. Time to shine.
Let me just say, am I allowed to feel nervous at this point? Because, I don't know, I got mixed feelings here. It's like happiness, excitement, nervous,
anxiety,
scared. It's all
confusion.
Confusion, thank you very much. The what?
The light.
Ennui.
The light, the dark, all of it.
Malaise.
Malaise?
Yeah, it's the general, my mom taught me this term, it's a general feeling of uncomfortability.
Oh.
I just have malaise.
Oh, really?
I don't know how to feel about that.
I hate the, yeah, no, perfect timing for this joke.
Yeah. But
yeah.
Look it up.
Look it up, it's a real word.
It is a real word. It's me, I'm a Malay.
But you're just Malay. No, you're not Malays.
But that being said, drafting. We gotta talk about the similarities first, right?
Okay.
Because let's talk about the coaches.
Okay.
You guys have talked about how both of them used to be in the same team. They know each other well. They should know each other well in this draft.
You know how else this dichotomy between SRG and FCAP go?
Sure.
They also both have 2 tacticians that were former roamers for their teams that both respectfully played for MPLs.
Yep.
Ozorovecki for Geek Fam and Coach Treb for then BSB.
That's right. Coach Treb, he was on as Trebber. I think he retired playing as a roamer, but when he played in the MPL, it was actually a side laner / roamer where they kind of swap. Because back then in season, 5?
This was before Project Next.
This was before Project Next when
roles were a little more fluid.
Yeah, everybody was very fluid. You have to be flexible for you to get into MPL, you know?
Yeah, which brings up a conversation I had with Coach Vecchi about 2 or 3 days ago. I had breakfast with him, and he said that the reason why Filipino teams are so successful is because we focus so much on macro. Filipino teams are so good at macro that even if a lot of conditions change, they're so consistent that they get so much success, regardless of where you drop them.
With that being said, we're going to talk about the drafts here. Falcon AP brand is going to be on blue side. Selangor Red Giants on the red. Valentina band up as well as Chip. So Ingan, looking at the draft here, what do you think is going to be the first priority for Falcons AP brand?
Falcons AP brand, if of course the Louis is open, no chance that Few is not going to pick that up. And apart from that, of course, the Roger of Super Marco is a good prio pick. And apart from that, of course, the Ling of Kyle TZ.
We got to look at the Angela as well. If the Angela is up, both teams can definitely utilize that hero very well.
A lot of good vehicles for the Angela, as I would call it. There goes the Ling, for example. Nolan is an assassin that can actually receive the Angela, but it's not
it's not the best.
Not the best.
Not the best because you go in and out. You want to stay in that area. For example, go for the Baksha. You have Roger. Actually a great vehicle.
Which is still up, by the way.
Yep.
So now you're looking for the trade. There's so many hot commodities still left on the draft. This is, I feel like I'm uncomfortable being given this option right now.
Harif being banned up. Inga, do you think this is a good idea coming in from Selangor Red Giants to deny Super Marco of the Harif?
I mean, in a way it's good, but at the same time, there's still the Roger, there's still the Moskov that Super Marco is really known for using. So still it's strategic ban, but not the best ban for me.
All right. And now looking at this, looks like both teams are taking their time. So they're using all this time to really figure out the rest of the draft. Falcons AP Brand betting out the Luyi.
Yep. There you go. So you're looking for the trade. You're looking for what's left.
Roger
Blue side has been winning, what, 60% overall from the wild card up until now in general.
All right. Now we got a player quote coming in from Gorgeous. The secondary EXP for Selangor Red Giants. Others have looked down on us. To be this strong as a Malaysian team and to have other teams look at us as a threat, it feels good.
Yep. I'm sure that they're feeling good. Right now, you have to choose Roger or Link, or maybe
let them both
open.
Yeah.
Ban Terizla, actually, instead.
Oh, yeah.
Although they can pick it up, actually, second pick. So.
And that'll put Flapteasy in an odd position. He doesn't have the Terizla, doesn't have the Arlot. And there it is.
Hey, great minds think alike.
Yes, sir.
The Zhong is still open.
Yep.
Just saying.
You pick up the Roger, and now, okay, so that's a priority for FCAP. Now it's Ling Moskov. Ling Angela is great. Yeah.
They left it open.
They left it open. They purposely left it open.
Could this be on purpose?
I think it's on purpose.
100% on purpose.
Yeah, there's no way they didn't catch that.
So I would say Ling Angela is top, and then next best thing is maybe Ling and Moskov.
Because it would be kind of a bad idea to let Roger and Ling be in the same
There you go.
team,
That's
right?
Angeling. It's got to be.
It's got to be Angeling.
What are you feeling after seeing the first 3 picks for both teams?
I mean, Sekis, even without the Angela, is always activated. But with this Angela pick,
it's too good.
Too good.
But what I am going to say here is this allows for Falcons AP Brand to lean hard on finding solutions. There could be worse places, right?
Yeah.
There could be worse positions wherein you get the Angeling and then you don't have any room to pick up the answers.
So you pick up what, Farsa Yuzhong here?
I mean, like, here's the thing. Like, good news, good news, bad news. Good news, you got the Angela. Bad news is that Stormy is not on a hero that can usually carry the game by himself.
Barats instead. This is the early curveball. In a way, it's still pretty much open. The big guy passive's not kicked in yet.
Tiny Dino, big problem.
I love it. Big problems in many ways because you can put it in the XP, put it in the jungle. Roger's still open. Julian's also open. This is FCAP, and the F means flexible.
Triple flex in blue.
Actually, it means Falcon. Just
to clarify.
Yeah, it's Falcon.
Triple flex in blue.
So you get Moskov, right? If you are SRG, so that you're safe in many situations.
Both good targets for the Angela.
Got him. All right.
Moskov being picked up here. I'm really thinking that Selangor Red Giants should have a very aggressive roamer because I feel like the moment they lose the mid lane, Sakai's not going to have a good time. So whatever next pickup is going to be, they got to make sure that the jungle is relatively safe.
Yeah. Whew. It's difficult to be in the spot of SRG because you don't know what to ban at this point because all lanes are kind of open. So
Julian
you just have
could be mid.
But Julian can be played.
Yeah, but meaning to say, like, if you ban the mid lane, then maybe the Julian can go mid, right? If you ban...
right.
Yeah, that's what I mean, like the triple flex.
So you force one of the heroes to be hard locked in one spot. I like how you think, Lafel, and they do by the fair miss for FCAP. There's this argument that you want to ban Lolita against this because SRG plays that so well, but I think Minotaur as well as Tigreal will be as scary because
what about a Grok?
Grok is great. How about the Ruby though?
Oh yeah, Ruby.
Yeah, Yuzhong instead is going to be another vehicle for the Angela.
Yeah,
it's gonna be also very scary. Additionally for SRG, do they double down on the mid bans?
If they do, what do they ban? Like Aurora? Or
a Lilia, maybe.
A Lilia, yes. Honestly, Lilia is probably a very good ban here.
Yeah.
Because if the Lilia is there, and then say this Baras goes EXP, and then the EXP is won by the Baras, then it's just like, you have many open doors for FCAP, and it's just not going to be a fun time for SRG.
Yep. Oh, Day.
Hey, okay.
Interesting.
What about Yums using the Cho? Is this Choable? I mean, the Barats might be
no.
The Barats might be annoying, but you know, should be Choable.
Choable, yeah. I think Yums is that kind of player where every game is Choable.
You know what? I agree. He's the highlight maker.
Yeah.
So, Leo, looking at drafts here, what are you feeling like?
The triple flex from FCAP is still leaving them with clear options, right? They can, again, react to what comes out. And SRG here reverts to the Edith. No need to bring out the Ruby. I think the Ruby would suck,
I mean,
honestly.
It's a flex.
It still is a flex, yes.
Could go Roam, could go EXP.
Could XP, could be Roam. Where this leaves FCAP is to possibly, even after these two picks, leave up one flex row still.
Yeah.
Like, you will still not be sure.
Like in the Kaja for FCAP.
They gotta. I was thinking the Kaja would have popped up this early, but given that SRG did not ban it, all the more they have a priority.
Yeah.
Are they overloaded enough on CC that they would even, you know, be okay with like a Minotaur or something?
Yeah.
Right? Like that's plenty.
Or even a Mathilda to go with the Barretts, right?
To deliver the Barretts.
Yeah, that's right. But there's a world where it's like, yep, there you go.
All right, Minotaur Hayabusa. So this is going to be a Ingan, what do you feel like after seeing the full lineup from Falcons AB brand?
I feel like it's more of a balanced lineup. Again, you have the sustain plus the crowd control. And of course, the flexibility of Kyle TZ to actually dominate with the Hayabusa in the early game. So I'm liking the lineup so far of Falcons AP brand.
They shut down the flex, right? You all know where they're going, but the whole switcheroo still.
Kind of need a lot of vision here from SRG to... Like, because you have the Angela, right? You have the Edith. I don't know if this Edith is going to the Roam or the XP. Probably better at the XP at this point.
If you're looking for vision, that has to be the XP.
How about a Borg for SRG?
The eggs.
They're still checking bushes the old-fashioned way, though.
Yeah, that's true. It's the CC. CC,
yeah.
Oh, so greedy SRG.
There's no vision, my dog.
Three farm-dependent cores.
Here's the thing. It's a cram special. With that being said, thank you very much, Ingan, for your services here. Thank you very much to our analysts. And now, I hope our casters, Mirko and Gideon, are ready because we're throwing over to the first game of the Grand Finals.
Thank you, analysts. Thank you, analysts. This is the moment. This is the time for the Grand Finals. This is going to be a best of 7. Let me remind everybody here, the final bosses, the toughest challenge here in the competitive MLBB space. And it's going to be Falcons AP Brand against Selangor Red Giants.
Both these teams, they've had their journeys through hell and back to reach the Grand Finals. And here it is, a best of 7 to end it once and for all.
I don't know, but it's looking like you're playing against gods, man. When you're thinking of FCAP, you're thinking about soaring high as we jump on into the land of dawn to commence game number 1. Oh boy, Falcons AP Bren on the blue side, Selangor Red Giants on the red.
Straight off into the game we go here. For Selangor Red Giants, they've conquered the Sky Kings in the group stages. Now sitting on their throne, they challenge the gods of the game.
And honestly, if they are going to challenge the gods of the game, this is a particularly interesting way of doing so, right? Again, how we're going to expect to see Selangor Red Giants to attack Falcons AP Bren is winning out on these lanes and maybe setting up some dive opportunities. So Falcons AP Bren, they're great at responding.
We were talking about earlier, right, in the drafts, about Selangor Red Giants towards the ending of the drafts. They really didn't have any prio, and that's why I think, even though it's greedy, the CC pick is great, because it does give him the prio in lane up against FlapTZ, and this is something you want to try to utilize. That's the reason Liquid Echo were able to beat them in the Grand Finals, having a winning lane, but Kyle TZ wants to change that, has the Shadow kill, the Purified gets put out there, Cram gonna be solo kill up top, assassinated. Skies looking for a play, time to Blaze with the Retribution, down, he comes down, over to Kyle TZ, goes for the Blaze, but Kyle takes him out with the Shurikens.
It's too fast, too quick. Falcons AP Bren with the help of Ogwen to speed up Kyle TZ's farm. Hits that level 4 and an awkward timing, and honestly the most critical timing for the EXP laners. With that being said, FlapTZ is going to get a free recall off of this, and Sky slowed down on his farm. Not exactly the most ideal, especially costing 2 2 kills. That's a lot of goal for Kyle so early on.
Definitely not, man. The fact that Kyle TZ on a Hayabusa has 2 kills, a level lead already, right before the turtle even spawns. You would expect SRG with the CC in lane to have more prio for the turtle, but now that he's been taken down, now that Few can walk up and pop in and then has Chain and knock him up and even zone him away. The missiles too, Crab brought back, no Purify. And Falcons AP Bren, they'll be happy just with that trade.
This is really good stuff from the side of Falcons AP Bren, right? Stormy is here to kind of help recover Cram's lane, but at the same time, he's leveled down, and Flapteezy, as well as Few, making sure that he's not going to be able to participate for the upcoming fight, even setting up the proxy.
This is what's great about Falcons AP Bren, right? The fact that even when they have prio, they don't rush into neutral objectives. They still take their time, go for the buffs, get Kyle TZ in a more comfortable spot. And now they have the level 4 advantage. Sky's going in, not able to get in there in time. Denton well good, predicted Skiles, stunned up, pinned down on the wall for Kyle to take him out. 3-0 start for the Hayabusa.
Great hit with the Daytona's welcome. They didn't give them a single frame so that he could use the Tempest of Blades. Chain CC perfectly. This is why they are the final boss. It feels unfair. They always play pixel perfect.
Feels very unfair, it seems. But, I mean, we saw in an interview what Flapteezy said literally boils down to, I'm better. We're better on the macro, we're better on the micro, is what he said in the interview.
Every single time that we see these teams play, we're just hoping that something is going to change, right? And I think that SRG, now that they've kind of lost tempo and losing out, and the most important thing, which is their lanes, can they bounce back? But first, the game fact.
This is the bulletproof man himself. Super Marco tops MSC 2024 with the lowest average deaths per game at 0.77, then followed by Few.
I think, to be fair, Few got done a little dirty with his stats only because he's put on a Julian of all things. But hey, still, Bulletproof Marco's still living up to his moniker. At this point in time, let's have a look at the items to see who has got what. And it looks like, oh, interesting. LTG might be rushing for the Sky Piercer now that he's got quite the substantial lead for himself before finishing off the Hunter Strike.
Taking their time, it seems. I mean, for most of them, especially in the bottom lane, Innocent, he knows that this is not a winning matchup. He wants to just scale up. Doesn't really want to go for a lot of the skirmishes. So he goes for the Warrior Boots here up top. Cram pops in a Purify, has the hard guard to get him now. Sky trying to go for the chase. Kyle TZ goes to the quad shot on the back line as Few is able to disengage. Flapteezy rotates over, providing cover. Flicker forward by Flap. Really trying to get Skies there to punish him. But now that's a big flicker, big ultimate down. 12 seconds for the next neutral objective.
Still, the hard guard's not going to be back up when this turtle fight does commence, right? And at the end of the day, it still feels like FCAP is trading up. They're still taking away camps from Skies at this point of time. The real question is, when exactly do they actually want to commence a full-blown team fight?
No Detonus welcome. The missiles does connect onto Cram, who's going to be dealing a lot of damage now with the Curtains call onto Falcons AP Bren. 2-level lead on Kyle TZ. Skies hovering over Cram again, doing some damage. Minus Fury by Ogwen. Knock 2 members up straight into the enhanced sight. Kyle TZ secures the retribution. Now Kyle just jumps back and forth. 2-0 in kills too.
This early game is completely disastrous. Falcons AP Bren, they're going to be able to control this for the next 8 minutes or so. And I think that's like a Red Giant. Oh, I mean, they're trying, but at the end of the day, right, they've been slowed down significantly. Look at this.
1v4 in the bottom lane with a hard guard down. Innocent trying to run away, gets chopped down, and he got taken out inside of the belly.
It's too tough. It's too tough. Look at the priority, right? Falcons AP Bren pushing up the tempo, and nobody can really win 1v1 anymore, right? Slinger Red Giants now getting punished for their greedy lineup. This is going to cost them and potentially cost them game number 1. But let's have a look at the hero matchups here, because right now, the actual win rate compared to the theoretical win rate, 100% for Skies.
Retribution earlier, Kyle TZ was able to steal away, now jumps into the quad shadow, gets pinned down, but is able still to escape. These little mistakes, but the instant recovery from Falcons AP Bren.
I mean, like Leo likes to mention, right? It's a game of inches, and Falcons AP Bren,
millimeters
right now,
at this point.
They're playing with feet, right? They're extending their lead even further. And at this point of time, when we look at the items, I think, you know, at least for Flapteezy, he's playing it safe, right? Go for the Dom Ice. You're already up against the CC. He's not going to greed out and go for the War Axe straight away. But the real concern is that Kyle is already 4-0-1, and not to mention, even Few, just poking people out with enhanced size, good enough.
The Shadow kill, the Sky Piercer execute, takes him out. Even with the hard guard, Stormy couldn't save him. And this is what's special, I would say, about Flap. He knows exactly, wait, up top, Bulletproof Marco. Trying to go into 1v1 against the Assassin, and Skies is forced back.
Flapteezy! Flickers forward, Nom into the wall, straight onto Super Marco Ogwin, knocks him up, and he takes the kill with the small hammer he has.
Oh man, Falcons AP Brent making this look easy. What a lead that they've generated for themselves. Slango Red Giants, they have to forfeit every single time Falcons AP Brent takes space. You gotta give it away. There's no point fighting this early on, especially when you're 8-0 in total kill score. But not only that, look at that level lead.
That's few. That's the mid lane, who's on an assassin. He can't even, clear these waves usually. But here in this matchup, he's been able to find so much prio, and that's why you see that damage. Golden Staff, at least for Innocent, we're seeing him get towards item. Power Spike, Cram, gonna dash away, Yomes with the flicker forward, onward, and the Earth Shatter, but Miss Fury catches 4 on the board, knock up 2. Kyle shut down by Cram. Now on the chase, it's Flapteezy running away for his life, but Super Marco on the Lycan form. Yomes brought back to the team, another Earth Shatter to knock them up for Innocent. To continue, the spear hits.
What am I doing here, right? What am I even doing here? A forfeit, give up space. I take it all back. Just play pixel perfect. Kill Kyle TZ while he still has his ult. Don't give him a frame to react.
And they're on the board. The momentum slowly shifting, but if we take a look at the goal lead, Gideon, it's still massively in favor of Falcons AP Brent, still flying across the skies, looking down at the Red Giants.
I think at this point, when we're looking at SRG, their main winning factors is can they drag this out long enough so that people like Innocent, people like Sakai can actually catch up to get that critical mass. But unfortunately, it's going to be a little slow, so we're paying attention to Yums and his battle spells. Whenever he has it up, he is looking for an opportunity to lock down Kaltizi like he did previously.
It's all about Yums, so it almost seems like in games before the grand finals, every time he's on to Eden, every time he has a flicker, he'll use it. Just like that now, the kite back up against Flapteezy, who decided not to commit the death on his welcome, and we get to take a look at the items here again for the in-game equipment. Flapteezy, like you said, taking the utility route on this game. Dominance Ice straight into the Sky Guardian helmet. He knows exactly what this pick is meant to do. It's meant to frontline for Super Marco, for Kyle, and we're seeing that with the Quad Shadow and the Shadow Kill into the back line right now, doing a lot of damage. Cram needs the photo proc. Kyle's able to escape with the Quad Shadow, dodging away from the Earth Shatter that was well placed by Yums.
This gives a lot of information, right? Kyle TZ, he's already so far ahead. As long as he doesn't die, that's totally okay, right? Yes, he did lose a couple of Sky Piercer stacks, but it doesn't mean that he isn't like level 13, 9 minutes into the game compared to Sky's full 3 levels ahead of the man. It's tough to argue, but at this point in time, we're just hoping and waiting to see whether the Heart Guard is going to get dropped.
Again, these Quad Shadows by Kyle, using it just to poke, slowly but surely. They bit out the curtain call though. Cram, no ultimate. Wait, Kyle TZ on the Lord. Seems like they're trying to just sneak this one in. So long as Red Giants still focus on their own purple buff. And even then, it's forced out by Flapteezy. Retribution still there for them. Minus Fury into the Debtors. Welcome canceling out the Minus Fury there. And it's going to be the knock up to Cake Yums down. Now into the back line. Time to Blaze. Knocking View up straight into Skies' Blaze. Flapteezy going to be taken down. That's a double for Skies. Looking for a triple as he marches forward. Skies continues the onslaught. Kyle forces the Shadow Kill. Super Marco chases Innocent in the back line right now. It's Kyle. It's in a 1v3. No Shadow Kill, but he does have the Quad Shadow. Going back and forth. Super Marco goes in and finds the Lycan Pounce. Skies looking for it. The spear catches him. Skies finds an unofficial Maniac.
Oh my goodness! How did it end up like this? Falcons AP Brent, they lost sight of what exactly they were fighting for. They already had the objective that they wanted to. They wanted to extend their lead. They may have shown a bit of disrespect, but Slango Red Giants made it messy, kind of split them apart. Keep in mind, Falcons AP Red, they don't mind diving, but they still have to maintain that front to back. And if the damage lands on the correct targets, like Innocent, like Cram, who as of right now is catching up real fast with the Brute Force Breastplate. Now, after the early game, he's 1-3-6, but the same goal, if not more, than Flapteezy.
That's some scary stuff right now. The scaling of SRG, the CC, the Ling, the Moskov. It's a very greedy lineup for SRG, but if they're able to somehow find those gold resources and place them onto these 3 members, it'll be very scary in the late game. Even the CC, he'll be able to actually withstand a 1v1 against Kaltizi. I think maybe he might go for the winner, Crown Fu. And then later on in the side lanes, maybe Kyle will have to send over another member, maybe with Few together to really deal with him.
I think they got to start changing their habits up here for the side of Falcons AP Brand. It looks like SRG has a bit of a read on them, and at the end of the day, it's all about landing the damage on the correct targets. I think better yet, oh, hold on. Ramadan, does he want to go for the info? Yes, he does. He's all 5.
Flask of the Oasis is still there, though. And he will be able to escape with the Quad Shadow. Skies goes in. Chasing the back line. Tempest of Blaze knocking him up right into the spear as well. Skies finds the assassination in the back base. View out. Super Marco with a gun down. Finding the shutdown back, and it will be a trade. Both junglers down. But Innocent wants to continue. Pin down Yums. Finds an Earth Shatter. Stormy in the back line going to be taken down by Flap as he stops him on the ground. But take a look at Yums and Innocent, who is still free hitting. Gets caught by the enhanced sight. There's a Flask of the Oasis from Ogwin's Motivation Roar. But Cram is still able to escape. View and Ogwin. Now with Marco on the chase. Flicker forward. The Lycan Pounce will not give anything for Cram to deal with him. Innocent in a 1v3, now with a nature as well. Tells forward, Super Marco buys it with a nature, scratches him down, and finds the double.
He tries to outplay it. That's going to be a full wipeout here. A double kill for Super Marco. What an interesting approach. Slinger Red Giants make a play of their own to take out Kyle, reset his Sky Piercer stacks, but unfortunately, Few is quite a problem. These extended fights are working out much better for Falcon's AP Bread, thanks to the Julian. He doesn't have to wait for a long ultimate. He just needs 8 seconds.
And now Minotaur. Ogwin has the winner crown, Gideon. That's the combo we were waiting for with the Minotaur, especially when they're snowballed. Yums, Earth Shatter R2, but the Minion's Fury knocks them up. Cram gets thrown away. The Spirit of Destruction into the back line. Yums try to survive now, even with the Shadow Kill. Skies no purple buff, still desperately going for it. Tempest of Blaze now on the Super Marco. Skies finds the shutdown. Now it's a Kyle. It's Skies who continues to fight. And now onto the Lord he goes. Cram in a 1v3, trying to deal some damage. Stormy tries to heal him from across the wall. Skies finds it. Now with the Finch poise over to Few. He continues the damage with the winner crown. Saves it for a bit. Few trying to chase him down. Sky still surviving. Cram with a cleanup, and Few will be taken down.
Are you not entertained? Game number 1 from an abysmal early game. Somehow SRG are the ones who bounce back. Skies makes a play of a lifetime, and Chiling, you can't count him out.
You can never count them out. Skies in the mid lane now, trying to take the tier 2, and he will be able to do so. He started this game 0-3. He didn't have a purple buff in that team fight.
He didn't, but he does now have 4 items. He's scaled up finally. And honestly, he has more farm than Kyle after having a 4-0 start. And they're cracking open the inhibitors. And I think that SRG, they got to call it quits at some point.
Kyle with the damage, jumps onward forward. Earth Shadow Flicker combos, guys. Trying to capitalize on this, has the Tempest of Blaze, dodges away from them, and his Fury catches Super Marco, but now gets chain CC'd. So able to survive for a bit, knocked down by Flap TZ. Shut down by Flap. Stormy caught in the immobilization as Kyle finishes him off. And finally, Falcon's AP Bren, they find the chance to slow it all down again.
I think it doesn't matter, right? With more people dying at this point in time, we look at the waves and we can understand, unless, no, he wouldn't. What?
Innocent? He tried to Spirit of Destruction, doesn't get that Few! Deletes him from the Lanadon, now it's a wipeout for Falcon's AP Bren!
Why overheat? Why overheat? They could have just reset off of this. The waves were in a position where they couldn't get punished, and now they're definitely going to be losing something off of this. Sky's coming back up in 1 and Stormy in 1 as well. They could try 1v3 once more.
No purple buff though. Again, same problem for him. Does seem like for Yums, he will be able to just pressure them away from that mid turret, but the base turret will be taken down already. Skies barely dodging away, doesn't want to commit the Tempest of Blaze just yet. Buys the Rose Gold Meteor in time, and Falcon's AP Bren will be happy just with the 2 base turrets stick.
I'm telling you, Mirko, this game is starting to look like a war of attrition now. It's like I trade 1 inhibitor, Falcon's AP Bren, we're gonna take 2, which begs the question, what is SRG's response? No purple buff once again from both of these assassins, and Kyle in particular, with that purple buff, is gonna be able to do a lot more in these tight situations. 30 more seconds as we look at the items. We're seeing that the biggest problem at this point of time is the fact that, hey, if we want to get into these fights, Ogun, you gotta have your flicker back up. And Yums, his is coming up in 16 seconds, but with a Holy Crystal on top of everything else from Few, that really begs the question, can Innocent truly outplay everybody without the help of the Heart Guard?
A game of millimeters, a game of inches. SRG and Falcon's AP Bren. So far for both of these teams, they're still able to keep the far lane base turret intact. So they'll still have an advantage to play with, technically. I think Falcon's AP Bren with the mid lane constantly pushing in. Now this is a point where Yums onward in the Earth Shatter over to Flap TZ. Just with a little bit of poke from Innocent. No teams wanting to go for it, but My question is, Gideon, is this good for SRG? Do they want the mid lane to actually be pushing towards them so that Innocent, so that Cram, so that even Skies can keep farming up, getting those resources?
I don't know. I think that SRG, they want to fight for this, right? I think they know that once the Lord starts crashing in towards their Crystal, it's going to be really difficult to high ground defense. Keep in mind, Stormy is playing Angela. No, Angela is not known to have the greatest wave clear.
Oh. Or Shadow Flicker combo. Ulted onward flip! Finds the backline with the Daytonas. Welcome now straight into Kyle Teasy. With a shadow kill, used up in the back line, able to back away. Skies chasing him with the Finch poise, running him down now with the Temple of Blades as well. Kyle able to dodge away from the knockup, but will not be able to dodge away from the rest of the Blades. Meanwhile, it's a knockup on a 2 straight into Cram, who's going ham with the yo-yos. And Skies somehow finds a way to escape. Wide open!
A clean back door coming in from Falcons, AP Brand, SRG. They show that they can go toe-to-toe with some of their best, but when it comes down to the macro, when it comes down to that lead, Falcons, AP Brand just show, hey, you got to get on our level. You got to have some polish, kids.
Composure. The calmness to pull that off. In a skirmish that looked like it was pure 50-50, in a skirmish where it looked like SRG were going to win, they said, nah, I'd segue.
It's tough. I think it's really, really tough considering all the action-packed fights that we're having here. We're so much focus on the micro from the side of SRG. It's really difficult to see the entirety of the map, but I think our analysts can do a better job at breaking down this game. Analysts, please take it away.
Can we just say the first game here already set expectations for this grand finals? Because I don't know about you, gentlemen, but when you're asking me what game number 1 was going to look like, I don't think it would look like that.
Yeah, no, it was high risk, high reward for SRG. And again, if you want to achieve something great, such as defeating the world champions, you gotta think outside the box. You gotta think outside where the box was even made.
Because here's the thing, like, I was almost thinking that Falcons AP Brand might have a flawless game, right? No devs and everything, but then Slonger Giants fought back, and at the end of the day, it's not who has the better team fight. Yep. You just ended the game.
And most importantly, you can see SRG with this set play where it is going to be either Cram or this Edith coming out from Yums to start the fights, and then they will force Kaltizi to maybe pop the Quad Shadow, or it kind of feels like there's someone who forces the ultimate coming out from Kyle, and then in comes the Angeling, which, man, it's still pretty strong. I believe that even when Falcons AP Brand won this game, they probably will not let go of both the Angeling.
Let me just say as well, Slonger Giants, as good as they look going up against Falcons AP Brand, what were those mistakes? Especially towards the end of the game when they're pushing. If they were, you know, maybe a little bit relaxed, could have been a little bit better.
I'll tell you, Lafel, you mentioned it already. The beginning and the end are where they made their most mortal sins. Number 1, they drafted very greedy. Yes. They have very little wave clear, very little vision that they can actively throw out to protect this very late game-centric lineup. And then second is towards the end. Again, Coach Vecchi knows that PH teams are so good at macro. They've got so consumed by the team fight that they forgot. Few tried to do this just a couple of days ago.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, Stormy did go back, but that's an Angela, you know?
Yeah.
Maybe it was a Lilia or something, maybe.
Exactly. There's clearly the only, if you think about it, the only legitimate wave clear that SRG has is when Edith pops the ultimate.
Oh.
That's probably, but obviously that's not gonna happen. CC clears the lane slowly.
Oh yeah.
Moskov takes his time, but again in the late game, maybe if you angle it properly, you're gonna clear it better, you know.
And even with Edith, you're also besides the skills, your basic attacks just still hit one at a time.
Exactly. So, yeah, we did say that there was a glaring problem. Man, imagine if it just had export.
No, but here's the thing. It almost worked out. They were already in the base, but they forced it.
Man.
If they didn't force it, could have looked different.
I hate to tell you this, but in the grand finals, almost will never caught it.
Yeah. Now I guess maybe 3 mortal sins, right? Beginning, the end, and that last one, the push, the force push at the bottom.
Yeah. But still, you know, I gotta say, though, that was... When Gideon asked, "Are you not entertained?" Man, I was.
Oh, yeah, it was definitely entertaining.
It was definitely entertaining.
It's so entertaining that even we watching, like off camera, like we will tell you guys, we went through our own cycle of emotions.
Yes, there was a video.
I don't know how to
feel.
Yeah,
there was a video footage of it.
It's rolling now.
Yeah, but again, honestly, like I like the risky draft because again, like we had this talk Leo, if you don't take the risk, how are you going to defeat the world champions? It's just that I kind of feel like when it comes to the gameplay, ending the game, like I feel like 2 or 3 times SRG got wiped out where they really shouldn't have.
And once FCAP got wiped out, which I think was what sunk my stomach. What really, that roller coaster of emotions where they were like, oh no, they can win, they can do this. Yeah. And Wolf and I would have to eat our words because even ending and concluding the draft, I was like, yo, that's super greedy.
Yep.
And maybe through the sheer team fighting skills, they could have gotten away with it, but...
Yeah. Nevertheless, if there was a team that I would allow to be greedy, I think now SRG has proven their worth for that regard. Because I think that they have a clear idea of what they want to start. If you look at the game and just dissect it, you're going to see a pattern coming up from SRG, which kind of tells me this is a set play that they have rehearsed so much and they know from 0 to 100 and they executed properly, actually.
Honestly, I want to know a little bit more about that. Can you show us with Bob, with the telestrator, what you mean?
Yep. Okay, so thank you for allowing me to do this, actually. Let's just rewind. This is a team fight that eventually Bren won, but it was a testament to how good the Angeling was and the fact that it was SRG. And Bob doesn't want to rewind. Well, now he's rewinding. Okay, so
thanks, Bob.
Okay, so
thanks, Bob.
This is us rewinding this. Okay, so first off, you can see that it is Kyle TZ in this spot. Well, you cannot see him because he is under
he's in Oki Shadow.
So yep, but that means that he activated his ultimate. So that is a launch pad. The guys identifies, okay, you don't have an ultimate, you did. And there is a lot of stuff that's happening onto the backlines. FCAP actually chose to chase, and they were able to do it. Now, in this time, we don't even need to highlight anything. This is more about like min-maxing from both teams. In fact, all players are God mode in this case. Look at how they go in and out. Innocent was amazing. Few was really, you know, toying with death. Super Marco was going in and out, making sure that he has the Lycan Pounce. Ogwin as well, utilizing his teammates. Ooh. And now they will not turret juggle. They will juggle Innocent.
It was a rope-a-dope. It was an alley-oop. And if I'm not mistaken, there was a...
beautiful.
A sliver of a second, a nanosecond, wherein Cram went... I think he wanted to throw some spell vamp out and then maybe survive and then give the kill over to Innocent.
That's right.
But there were, if I'm not mistaken, 3 members of Falcon's AP Bren there, and I think they thought one went back. So again, take risks where you can, because if you want to beat the world champions, that's how you do it.
I gotta say, this kind of games is where Super Marco gets the name Bulletproof. But with that being said, we gotta look at our Sony MVP, and it's gonna be few on this Julian. And I gotta say, he did a lot. Like, damage, escaping death,
ended the game single-handedly,
ending the game. Dude, he did it all.
Yeah, I believe that Few is so much of an expert in this Julian, in a way that the entire team kind of became very comfortable on how he plays the Julian. And I'm saying that because the chain stuns coming out from Falcon's AP Bren were perfect. They're utilizing either Ogwin first, or it will be Few first, and then they will get the damage output done, and then they go in and out. I believe that Few should not be given the Julian. In fact, I would say Falcon's AP Bren are way too comfortable picking up the Julian because 2 people can pick it up.
Would you say that it's a detriment to allow it to open? Like, it's your loss if you leave it open?
I would say yes.
Ban it out then.
Yeah, I would say yes. And
start.
Same can be said though about the Angeling. Maybe take out one of the 2 components.
Just at least one.
Just at least one. I think between Angela and Ling, I think, especially because you're playing up against SRG, just bet the Ling, right?
Yeah, I would agree. Because again, Ingan said it himself, even without the Angela, he's activated, right? So with the Ling, it just makes the problem bigger. But we got to talk about our MVP here, 8 KDA, 751 GPM. And remember, the only guy that has a lower death count than him is just Super Marco.
Isn't that poetic that a hero such as Julian is now one of the specialty heroes of Few, who is in the early game super strong? He played even before Season 1. Now in the twilight of his... I don't even know. Like, he might even play for like 5 or 6 more years.
Yeah.
You're a mad burst hero in the Julian. Like, and he ends the game himself. Isn't that like...
No, I mean, like, the crowd control itself, I feel like it's one of those things that actually drops guys where the basic attack just pulled them in, pulled them in, pulled them in. It's like, well, I guess my dashes mean nothing here.
That too. See, so at any given point, Few matters, both literally and figuratively in the world of MLBB sports.
That's why he's my GOAT.
Yeah.
I'm not a kid, but he's my idol.
Yeah.
Honestly, he's the idol of everyone. But with that being said, starting on July 24th is the female pro players' time to shine. Catch the MLBB Women's Invitational 2024, where 12 teams from 11 regions break barriers and redefine esports. Now, honestly, like, this game with that kind of showing makes me feel like it shouldn't be a sweep, right?
Absolutely.
That could have been the one. That could have been one for SRG, honestly speaking. I wouldn't have been surprised.
Yeah, definitely not. Unless, of course, we're going to see another Angeli on the other side, But yeah, I don't think it will be a sweep.
With that game, we got to look at Falcons AP Brand's achievements. Let's look at the journey that they had here.
Wow. Ever since rebuilding in 2022, they, again, have been a trust the process kind of team.
Yep.
And this is not the output you want. Is this not the best case scenario for output after such a long, drawn-out process?
This is going to be a template for esports in general, particularly mobile esports, right?
Yep.
Because now you're going to look at a team that is not composed of like super... that started out as a super team, or it started out like an all-star team. They made all-stars out of their players. That's amazing for FCAP.
Looking at his stats here, honestly, only average damage per minute and unique heroes is won by SRG. Everything else is by Falcons AP Brand, especially looking at that KDA. It's like, what, double?
Yeah. Then again, can we both agree, can we all agree that this is, that stats probably will never be able to describe the two teams?
Yeah, there's some things you can deduce.
Yeah.
Some things that are results of the way they perform. But in the end, numbers are just numbers.
Yeah.
You tell me that that game was close and you show me the timer, you show me the results post-game, I would not have seen the full picture.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I don't even use a calculator anymore.
What is a calculator? No,
actually, you know,
is there one in my phone?
I just asked Sanford.
Ah, yeah.
He's a human calculator.
Yeah, I just asked him for help. Now we gotta look at the
there it is.
Here we go.
We're nailing it right in the head.
Very first ban. SRG is gonna be blue side. Falcons AP Brand red side. Banning out a chip as well.
Yeah.
So how bad is this? Would you say that the Julian is worse than the Luyi? Because what if it comes down to it?
What if it comes down to between like picking up Julian? I would rather pick up the Julian just because it can be flex. At the same time, you're in the grand finals.
Yeah.
You want to play in your comfort hero as a team. I'm not talking about just a comfort hero as players, individuals, but as a team.
So I think that's what's looking like it's going to happen because Hart's still open.
Yep.
Luyi is still open. Ling is still open. There's so many big ticket heroes.
This is the part where you definitely want to think, if you're SRG, do you really want to give up Ling or the Valentina, in fact? Because if you want to go back to your Angela, you're scared of that Valentina. And do they actually first pick the Valentina in the presence of what? Harith, Ling, Luyi? Probably not, right? So, well, they do went out the Harith this time. They will be opening up the Valentina.
The question is, will the Ling get banned here?
It's not. Oh, okay.
Right.
So, Luyi or Ling?
For SRG.
I'm feeling the Ling.
I think Valentina first pick is the best choice. But if I were to guess, they will pick up Ling. The second choice, definitely the Valentina.
Yeah. So, I don't know. SRG feels like a Ling. Because again, it's not like Sakai's did a bad job on the Ling. I mean, maybe he made some bad calls, but it's about maturity, right? Game 1, forget about it. Focus on Game 2.
I wonder.
Yeah, no, Angeling's not making it. Because if you pick the Ling here, does that make FCAP more reactive? Does that mean they're forced to pick up the Angela now, or else pay the consequences?
No, they can pick up Valentina and Moskov.
And then not care.
Or Moskov Terizla, actually.
And still have all the answers.
Huh. Interesting. I think among all of those, I think maybe Valentina plus Terizla, right?
There's the Valentina.
Yeah. But yeah, I think my top one is Valentina Moskov.
Honestly,
because now
Terizla makes sense. Yeah. That goes true.
You got it right, but you did something else.
Yeah, I mean, like, that still is, I'm still right. You know?
We still want to see Angela Moskov because it's not like they had a bad game.
Exactly. No, they played very well. If anything, they just adjust the second half.
Yeah. You know why I want them? Yeah, that's also true. Yep. I think, you still pick up Angela, but then why I like the Valentina is because it can copy the Angela. Angela actually hates playing against this Valentina.
They both just hide.
Yeah. Unless you want to go like Angela Ruby if you're SRG. Well, Moskov Ruby.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
They're letting go of the whole Angela situation, which I think is good because Yums is super comfortable on the Ruby. Almost single-handedly changes the tide of battle.
And I feel like Stormy, this is one of those situations where he's looking at everyone's eyes and he's like, let me carry the game.
Yeah.
Let me do damage.
So FCAP should pick up their gold laner now. Maybe somewhere along the lines of a Claude, so that they have a way to match up with this Moskov, because I'm sure that there will be a lot of Super Marco bans upcoming with the Moskov being picked up, Harith not being available, as well as Roger. You want to pick up your gold laner now if you're FCAP.
The real question is it really going to be Roger? You know what? At this point, I want the casters to come in. You guys are seeing the first 3 picks for Slang Red Giants as well as Falcons AP brand. How are you guys feeling about this one?
I think Haya.
All right. They're thinking Haya.
They have a brainstorming in their own side.
They're very invested.
Yeah, they're very.
I mean, given how dynamic and layered the first game was in draft, despite it being relatively greedy for SRG, I think there was a lot to go in there.
Again, going back to the casters, like, let's start with Falcons AP brand. What do you guys think of their opener?
Personally, I think their opener is looking really, really good. The Valentina, I mean, Miri and Merkel have been discussing constantly about the back and forth between these two teams, and I think so far, FCAP looking real nice.
Yeah, I think for Falcons AP brand, picking up the Terizla early was just amazing for them. Now they can nail down on the XPs for Cram, force the Ruby, hopefully, maybe for them, onto Cram. And then for SRG, I feel like they're really just going to try to nail down Calteezy, deny all the Assassin picks, force him on utility.
All right, thank you very much, gentlemen, for your thoughts on Falcons AP brand's opener. Now, in terms of the ban, what are we looking at like here?
I think I'd like to hold it on choking out Cram.
All right, okay.
Because again, after the aforementioned Ruby switch up is there, and of all the members of SRG, Cram is the one who is okay with living with the bare minimum. He's okay getting beat down. He can start the game at 0-4, and they'd still dig their way out of that. So maybe just protect everyone else and then let him be alongside Stormy, you know, carrying in his own way.
Yeah. All right. Now that means that you ban what? Paquito, I guess? Or Harlot's still Harlot's banned. Yeah, so you ban Paquito. There still is the potential of the Angela, by the way. We are not eliminating that factor, which also will be really good for SRG. That means that if they do want to pick up the Angela once again,
personally, for me, I want to see a damage dealer.
For Stormy.
Yeah, personally, like, give him something like a Farsa. Yeah, exactly.
Farsa's great overall. Another option is the Kagura. Oh, the Angel ban from FCAP.
Oh, wait, another one. The Aurora.
Oh, yeah.
The Aurora.
Yep. Also a hero that you don't give a massive ultimate to the Valentina too, right?
Yeah.
It's combo based, so it makes a lot of sense versus the Valentina. I'm curious, right? Nolan is probably among all of the assassins that we know, with Ling being picked up, Fanny ban, Hayabusa ban. You're left with Nolan. But it's not good against the Ling. So actually, my guess here is maybe they'll go for
utility box is still out.
Yeah, or maybe even an Amon if Kyle picks it up. But here's an interesting thought. Maybe what if they go the Echo, the Team Liquid Echo route, where they pick up Guinevere, right?
That's a pocket pick. Haven't seen Kyle Teasy on one in a while.
Ooh, with the Minotaur, you pick up Aurora here.
Okay, that's a chain stun special from Falcons AP brand again.
Yeah.
Chain stun, chain knock up.
Yeah, or maybe a Navaria. How about a Navaria for SRG?
I mean, that does solve the vision situation. Doesn't really give much burst, but allows for you to control the flow of combat.
Navaria and Edith looks really good here for SRG. It's a good close-up on their already solid lineup with two important cores. You have the Ruby for eventually for Cram, or the Edith. whichever they pick, which are two heroes that are unbothered by the Terizla, and in a way can actually soak up the damage from the Claude. Now they pick up X-Borg. Like,
now they get the Borg and they get the Vixana. I guess they're just throwing all caution to the wind, saying, you know what, we don't care. Take the Eternal Guard.
Yeah.
And we'll go off of Innocent, we'll go off of Sikais.
Okay. Oh, and the Nolan last pick here.
Yep.
So, thank you again, gentlemen, analysts, for your service towards the draft. Nolan last pick here coming in from Falcons AP brand. Gideon and Mirko, hope you guys are ready because we're throwing it over to you guys.
Man, that first half of the draft, that was interesting, but at least between you and me, Mirko, we figured it out towards that second half as we start rolling into this game.
Oh, man, you know, it really felt like for SRG, they really wanted to deny those assassins away, but they left the Nolan open, obviously because the Tigreal is a big threat to them as well. But now that Kyle is on an assassin that can match the Ling when it comes to farm, it's scary. They have a Terizla as well. This is a very similar composition that they used to beat Liquid Echo just yesterday, or 2 days ago.
And that's the thing, right? It's just a one-to-one solution. Hopefully the pieces are going to start falling into place. We're going to see whether our Malaysian representatives has what it takes to even take away a singular game in this best of 7 from the final bosses, the gods of the games. Falcons, AP Brent, as we start rolling into the Land of Dawn, it's going to be SRG on blue side up against FCAP on the red.
SRG were definitely able to make Falcons AP Bren lead in game number 1. It looked dominant for Falcons AP Bren at the start, but then towards the mid-game, SRG with Yums always looking for the fights, they were able to drag them down to the ground to actually make it a head-on battle.
Yeah, I'm surprised that they were even to get the Falcons. They're not clipping their wings just yet, but definitely brought them to eye level, which is surprising. But looking at the emblems so far, seems pretty standard all across the board. However, this starts from the side of Falcons AP Brent. In particular, Kyle Teasy, he opted to go for his orange buff first, then make his way down towards his purple, which does give an indicator that maybe they would just want to break the Faraga armor relatively early, just so that Flap Teasy has a better time in lane.
Yeah, for sure. I think getting rid of the Faraga armor is going to be top prio for Falcons AP Brent, because we were talking about this X-Borg pick as well, off cam. The X-Borg is really great in lane. In the team fights here, up against a lot of burst heroes, like the Valentina and even the Nolan, he will struggle a bit, but as long as Cram can utilize the lead he gets in the lane, if the rest of the team is able to also just let him do whatever he pleases in the lane, it's going to be A-okay for Cram.
Now we get to the 1 minute 30 seconds and nothing has happened down by the EXP side, which gives Cram indication that, hey, it's probably safe on this side of the map for now. And as we notice, Kyle Teasy, he's on the top side, right? He's looking for an opportunity, maybe foreseeing that SRG was going to read into the EXP attack. Because look at them, they're sending 4 members down.
Again, for Falcons AP Brent, it's all about dealing with Cram, the Faraga armor, because he's going to have auto prio. Especially with Stormy coming around. He gets that passive down, and Cram will just burn those minions for the passive to kill everything.
Now, Turtle is up. Purple buff is needed for Sakai to actually stand a chance. But Kyle, he's power farming this entire time. In terms of like the laning phase, honestly, this is a way more manageable game compared to number 1.
Good damage there. Onto Few. Placed down by the Cursed Blast, but take a look at Falcons AP Brent, who are the ones on the Turtle. Holding it down for now. Flap Teasy has the penalty zone. Can go for the zone, but Skies is really rotating over. Cal Teasy gonna be pulled back by Yomes. Eternal Guard coming down as well, but Oakwen will be able to pop in his Fury straight into the flicker, knocking 2 members up. The SOD connects, but no one's taking it just yet. Oakwen gets blasted down by the last Insanity, and it will just be 1 for 1. Few going back and forth on the Valentina. Just with a Turtle advantage. Falcons AP Brent up top. Super Marco blazing duet. Innocent wants to go for the pin down, finds it, but there will not be a solo kill. Not now.
Man, Innocent refuses to let go of any farm. He's like, I'm gonna pin you to the wall real quick.
No.
Let me quickly get the cannon. All right, we're done with the trade. Okay, we're done. No more afterwards. But at the end of the day, Falcons AP Brent, despite trading both supports for each other, they were able to achieve that Turtle. So if we're talking about a matter of inches, it's whether or not this Turtle Shield is going to make a difference in the upcoming engagement, right? Because right now, it's pretty passive between both top and bottom side, EXP and as well as gold.
I think it's going to be that way for the most part because Falcons AP Brand, they're just so good, even in losing matchups, to make it even in the lane. They know that they are just here to farm. In the bottom lane, the Terizla is a losing matchup. Up top, even the Claude is a losing matchup, but somehow they're farming really, really well. You can even see in the XP, Claude, Marco's ahead.
Yep. They got to take their time with this, right? They're looking for these big opportunities to make big plays. And I think I'm looking towards Few and as well as as Stormy in this particular game, right? Because I think that's the big game changers for each team. We're expecting FlapTZ to look for the big engage. We're expecting Cram to peel. That's pretty obvious. Even for Ogwen as well as Yums, the big engages happen off their battle spell timer. So keep in mind, 30 seconds on and 25 seconds on both.
That's a fracture damage. That's the burst damage that we were worried about for Cram on the X-Borg. Say goodbye to the Faraga armor. Sky's now in the bottom lane. Goes for the Defiant Blaze just towards the minion waves. KyleTZ together with Flap. The hammer swings a few times. Skies gets zoned away from this turret. Will be able to pick up that last XP cannon minion. But still, a lot of resources down now for Sky's half HP. Yoms, I'm offended, didn't connect you. Able to use the last Insanity anti-CC to escape.
Yeah, nah. I think at this point, they're just going to have to take their time, right? I definitely think that at this point of time... Wait, hold on. That doesn't look right. Cram's got a little more health with that, but still good patience coming in from Skies, right? His ult is such a big resource for him that he needs to hold for as long as possible. At the same time, where's the Minoan's Fury?
Again, time not that well. Eternal Guardian's Fury, though, catches them. Skies gets knocked up straight into the penalty zone. And now with the last Insanity, Cram, he's trying to burn them down. Is forced to flicker backwards. Falcon's AP Bren. It's Few with the steal on the last Insanity. Ogwen's trying to pin him down under that turret, but Cram knows better than to stay in the bottom lane all alone. Innocent up top. Now KyleTZ comes in. Innocent still able to survive for a bit, but not for long. Not against the TZ Air.
Nicely done coming in from Kyle, right? I mean, if you can... Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa! Calm down. Ooh. They really want to deny Skies any kind of farm.
It's getting tough for Skies. 3 levels down against the Nolan. That was a threat that we were talking about as well in the drafts. The Nolan can match the farm speed of Ling. So with the Terizla, so much prio. Now with Ogwen walking forward against Cram, FlapTZ can swing the hammer down with the cannon minion. The Skies will be forced to just go for that purple buff up top.
Let's look at this replay one more time here, because again, the way, man, the fact that KyleTZ just using the ult as a gap closer rather than I want the burst damage, knowing that Innocent still has his dashes, just goes to show Falcon's AP Bren, they got really clean communication. Like Super Marco is informing him about what is available to make these plays effective.
Calculated, always calculated. Maybe that's why he earned the name TZ behind him, right? But again, for SRG, it'll come down to how they're able to slow the game down, but then make those off-angle engages. Yums, again in the mid lane, getting chunked down. You have a game fact.
Yep, Stormy leads MSC 2024 with the highest average assists per game at 10.2. He's not looking for those big plays. But, oh, wait, hold on.
Speed of misery, but the ult to the backline straight into the blazing duet by Super Marco! What the heck was that? Skies gets the Tempest of Blaze, but Super Marco just guns him down to pick up a Maniac!
What a Maniac coming in for your boy Super Marco at 1 HP. We need a replay of that. We 100%. So we see the initial pushback 3. What? Eternal Guard hits. Where does it happen? Penalty zone hits 3, and Kyle just has so much damage. He has so much. He sets it up perfectly for Super Marco to walk in for free, and despite all of that, it just goes to show the jungle diff at this point of time. The 3-level lead that KyleTZ has really making the difference. And let's look at the gold difference. Yup, he's still 2K ahead.
Super Marco. There's a reason he has Super in front of his name. Time and time again, he decides to flex that Super name. Standing in front, no, below a Ling. He got knocked up. He's like, nah, Purify. He was getting stabbed. He's like, nah, I got guns.
He's so brave. I don't know. Sometimes it feels like he teases people like, oh, I'm going to take off the bulletproof vest this time. Nah, there's still plating underneath it. Joke's on you. But with this being said, right, Falcon's AP Bren, they slipped up in game number 1 when Selangor Red Giants hit a power spike, and they managed to out-micro them in a singular fight to turn things around and find that momentum. I'm expecting that Falcon's AP Bren is going to take a much slower approach this time, and yeah, that's what we're seeing, right? They're not sending everybody. They're just, oh, if we hit it, then sure. If we don't hit it, we start backing up and waiting for the refreshes.
It's all about poke, I feel, right, at this point of the game, especially considering for Cram, he wants to stay in these team fights for a long time. So if Falcon's AP Bren can just burst that Faraga armor down, nah, you can't really do much anymore. You're going to be forced to wait for the reset, for the regen of the Faraga armor. But yeah, man, Super Marco. He's like Kakashi with his mask, but Super Marco with his vest. Technically, you take it off, there's another vest down there, there's another plate down there. But at least for Skies, he is looking for farm. On the right place, Yums. I thought he was going to be bursted down there, knowing how far ahead Kyle is. But he just walks up, and Skies is able to get a trade. Few, though,
He can stop us if he wants it. No, I don't think he spots it. He checks it and he cancels it just to slow him down even further. How annoying. Worst yet, I think that Falcon's AP Brand are in a great position because honestly, Few, he has his two frontliners to create that space for him, and SRG don't have that same capability. Stormy is playing at the very edge of his max range, where Few, he can stay as far away as he wants to. Oh, Flapteasy set it up for me, and Ogren follows up. I can go in and out.
Oh, look at the burst damage. On towards him, baiting out the Eternal Guard for Peel. Skies is forced back as well. Cram is very low. And they can just stand there. Innocent up top, finding a turret. But look at that view again. Able to find the last Insanity. That's a blazing duet. Skies steals the Lord somehow, some way. Marco gets the unstoppable. And Innocent gets a turret.
That's a tempo breaker. That's the clearest indication. Look, wait. Let's see. Look at the Lord health. We know what's going to happen. Tempest the Blades comes out. The penalty zone lands first. Man.
2 levels.
A millisecond off. Kyle didn't get his retribution off. He wasn't expecting it. That's really unfortunate. Oh my goodness. And not to mention, right, after everything they got, the Eternal Guard, they also forced Yums to actually flicker out of the way. Technically, that's unacceptable.
Falcons AP Brand set that up perfectly. They had everything in their cards. But then, up top, that's where Innocent got picked off as well, by the way. But for SRG, Miracle Workers, Kyle walking up again, trying to get that passive down, unable to do so. Skies wants the 1v1.
Ooh.
Jumps back forward, doesn't have the purple buff, needs to respect that the energy can be depleted. Yums able to escape Eternal Guard, knock Baptiste out. Penalty zone from Flap. Not connecting there. I remember saying Marco even almost getting bursted down. Forced to blink back with the BMI. But now Skies is looking for him, jumps forward, and will be able to find it straight into the Spear of Destruction. A shutdown as he gets out.
The fadeaway jumps down, autos, doesn't even move. One more auto and walks off. Holy, SRG find a way to crawl back into this game despite everything that's happened. It looks like Falcons AB Red, they're trying to regroup here. They go... I don't want to say that it was an overheat, but there are definitely moments where Falcons AP Brand were poking a little too hard for pretty much no value whatsoever. It could be an testament to SRG anticipating the pushback, or we could say that Falcons AP Brand, they were hoping for a little bit more from SRG.
I don't know what it is, Gideon. Falcons AP Brand had such a big lead. Cram taking a whole lot of damage. Even the execute there on the Sky Piercer towards the Firaga armor. I didn't know you could execute the Firaga armor.
Yeah, I didn't know that either. Doesn't happen very often here, but then again, it's not like we see Xborg every other day.
When was the last time we saw Xborg?
Oh, I think that was in the group stages already, man. Because that was the only time we got to see, like, you know, Terizla through. Once we got into the playoffs, man, the Terizla definitely was one of those things where, like, we gotta push him out of the way. But at this point in time, we look at the damage dealt, no one's still on top, and even the damage taken, right? Yep, there we go. Xborg as well as Terizla both on top with, you know, Ruby not too far behind. And I think that Yum so far hasn't found a crazy I'm offended yet, right? I think that's the hardest part. Whoever's been throwing the first their abilities first tends to lose that match. But with the Winds of Nature from Slide and Super Marco, maybe he can make the super play.
That's something that we have been seeing a lot from Falcons AP Brand, but just in the few last minutes, it's been SRG finding those miracle plays, finding those super plays with an assassination from Skies. Somehow, it's like a timer for SRG. Every time they reach the mid-game, they suddenly get a massive power spike.
Yeah. I'm trying to figure out, why did Yunus use the I'm offended onto Ogun there? What was he trying to bait out? Maybe he was hoping that Falcons AP Brand is going to overheat. I think for both of these teams, honestly, they're looking a lot more similar as long as this game goes on in this best of 7, right? They're baiting each other to try and overheat, baiting each other to overextend, and Yums know that the I'm offended comes back up early.
Straight into Eternal Guard, I mean, this Fury and the Flicker combo. Kyle in the back line trying to find the assassination, but Innocent is able to blink out forward. Now in the back, Skies goes for the chase, the assassination on the Kyle with the Flicker, follower from Yums. Skies continues it. What is happening to Blades? Breaks it out and is in the midst of it all. Catches a lot of Blades. Innocent with a cleanup. And now it's Super Marco running for the hills. Flapteasy and Ogwen cannot deal with this Lord take from the Red Giants.
Oh, and now with the Lord take, they can almost guarantee at least one of these inhibitors. If they can get at least one, they can set themselves up for a really good Lord take afterwards. But it all comes down to the real question. Who's going to overheat first? Because Falcons AP Brand have not been able to get maximum efficiency off of their abilities just yet, despite everything that has happened, right? It looked like Owen got a really good engagement. And more importantly, we did see Kyle having an insane angle right straight through the mid lane at at the cost of a bunch of flickers from SRG.
This is why the Nolan, it's really good, especially when you're in the lead, right? But when you get to the 50-50s, when the enemy team was able to weather out the early storm, it's very tough for you to enter these team fights. There's a Don't Run Wolf King. There's obviously a Spear of Misery. But let's take a look at the Siege now. 3 mini waves crashing down into Falcon's AP Brent's base. Innocent finding the pin down straight at the I'm offended. Over and over with the Eternal Guard catching Flapteezy. Minus Fury used up, but it was cancelled by him taken down. Now Sky jumping to the back using the Sky Piercer. Forcing him in a crown out. Flapteezy with a DPC. Locking Yums down, but he has the immortality. He can still survive. Sky is again poking few. And Falcon's AP Bren, they live to tell the tale, to see another day. But SRG don't want to stop there. The siege continues. This time to mid lane with Yomes over with the conceal already. I'm offended onto Few straight into the stab down. Few taken down, traded in. Blue from Marco with a blazing duet. Finding one, going for the trade. The base is open though. Skies assassinates Marco straight into the BMI. Kyle, first in the world, now jumping in with a fracture. Not able to get him. Innocent 1 HP. Skies going for it. Minion's Fury onto the Cannon Minion. Now Ogwen, the master, 2v1. Tempest of Blades. Ogwen taken down, burnt to the ground. Penalty zone. It's a penalty zone. As Flap goes for it, but Skies buys the immortality. And they drag the Falcons to ground level.
They're looking eye to eye. Even gods have to take one step down and see this new threat. Oh my God, what momentum. How do they swing it? And all of this thanks to a simple mechanic. Curse Blast. Where's your HP now, brother man? Where's your HP? It's all gone. Max health, oh my goodness. How did it end up like this? Almost a repeat of game number 1, but this time it's in SRG's favor.
They're miracle workers. There's no way to explain it, the way that they were able to find these team fights while being 11-1 down, being 6,000 gold down against Falcon's AP Bren. That's usually a death sentence.
Most of the time it is. It's like they have Sky Piercer most of the time, but today it looks like they don't have enough stacks just yet. It feels like SRG has just been touched by a god this time around, but it doesn't mean that it's over just yet. It's still a best of 7, right? So we expect it to go the distance. Let's throw it over to our analysts to break it down for you.
First of all, we can at least say it's not a sweep, because now it's a 1-1. But we got to talk about the miracle timing coming in from SRG. Somehow, even in the first game and the second game, somewhere in mid-game, between 7 to 12 minutes, is where they really start to shine.
It's the same idea from the previous game where somebody has to force the initiations and the spells coming up from a Falcon's AP Bren, and then Sakai cleans up. It's like a, you know, the Sky Prince is going down and is delegating himself as the cleaner.
I'd hate to say it, but their comeback victory was, in essence, a 2-step process. Number 1, get Sekais into a position wherein he can actually get shutdowns. And then number 2, capitalize on that and out-team fight Falcon's AP Bren. That's exactly what happened ever since that turnaround.
Honestly, Sekais is playing like his idol, man. He's starting to play like Kyrie. Like, this is the kind of highlight plays that we expect from amazing junglers. But speaking of which, in this matchup, both junglers did absolutely amazing. Like, with this being the trend for game number 1 and game number 2, you really can't say any team is going to win or lose based off a small lead that they have. I feel like even 2,000 or 3,000 lead isn't that big of a deal when we're talking about both teams.
Yeah, Sakai has cemented himself as absolutely one of the best Ling players that we've seen all throughout the history of Mobile Legends. The way that he played this assassin, like a real true assassin, going in for plays like you're gonna be cleaning up, you allow your team to soak a brunt of the damage and then clean up afterwards. It's as if his strat right now, and this will sound hilarious, but it kind of feels like he's sacrificing his teammates so that the FCAP members are getting a streak, and then he collects the bounty afterwards. All of a sudden, he's hella rich afterwards.
That sounds like a strat I would be into.
I mean, it's working.
Hey,
let me die a few times just so that you can get a big goal lead.
Yeah.
That's the 2-step process again, right? You die, and then I clean him up. You die, I clean him up. What that puts their opponents in is a state of mind that acts like a sword of Damocles. Like, at any time, I could get hit by a rogue Ling. Anytime, Sekais could be just somewhere, and I'm dead.
Are we going to see a Ling in game number 3?
Well, I do hope so. As much as, you know, as fan of Falcon's AP brand, I would want them to ban this SRG Ling, but at the same time, they can use it.
Yeah, exactly. Pick it up because we now know for sure that SRG respects the Julian. Maybe this time, you do the same. You give the same courtesy.
Yeah.
And the thing is, like, speaking of Julian, I feel like SRG, even though they haven't shown it, they have the same dimensions. It can be put in the mid, it can be put in the jungle role. I really feel like that Julian ban was the one that really solidifies things because we saw how strong the Valentina is, but it looks like once the Ling gets 3 or 4 items, the Valentina can get deleted anyways.
I think you also have to take note of the last pick Nolan. I think I fairly remember I said that it will not fare well against the Ling. It was actually being countered. I understood when they did execute that it was early game centric, which was true. Nolan is a very early game centric hero, but come the late game, you see how it suffered. After one full combo, you have to get out because otherwise you'll be taken out afterwards. So that made me think like maybe there are other options there available for counter.
Yeah, the Ling is, rather, the Nolan is too much of a specific tool for a job that he can do very well, but take him outside of that situation, go past the 13, 14-minute mark, be inside your base, and as the Nolan, you're just wondering, like, what do I do with all these rifts?
Yeah.
So, Wolf, help us understand a little bit more. Let's dive right in with the Telestrator.
Yeah, this is where all things went in favor of SRG. All right, so you're going to see this is the second Lord of the game that will eventually be in favor of SRG. And what I want you to take note before I play this clip is that the members of SRG will force the ultimates first from FCAP. FCAP will actually burn out all of the resources and then they will kite them out of it. And I also want you to look at the circle, the inner circle being FCAP and the outer circle being SRG this time. So let's play the clip. Now, you are going to notice that it will be the utilization of 2 ultimates actually, including Fuse Limiter. So there's a 3rd ultimate. And now, when they try to get out, Sekai is now cleaning up house because he knows that Kyle TZ does not have the ultimate anymore, doesn't have the BMI to go with it as well. So there's a lot of resources. He does have the Purify, but come on, Purify can help you in there. But you also have to take note about Humes because the idea here for SRG is after FCAP already spent their ultimates, they will go in. Hume still has the flicker. You can go flicker second skill. That's the beauty of the Ruby, and that's exactly what is going to happen. Kao TZ cannot react to that ever so quickly. Then you still have the ultimate on Sekai. He's just cleaning up house. At this point, there are no ultimates. No resources that FCAP can use because they have lost both Few as well as Cal TZ in this situation.
It's a masterful refinement of their Game 1 draft.
Yeah.
They ended up with so much more resources, whether it be in ults, in battle spells, or just in sheer use of space. Because the Ruby closes the gap, not just for you, because Ruby is a negative gain, right? She displaces you and pulls you closer to your opponent's box. So it's such a perfect way of reading what happened in Game 1 that it allowed for SRG to play to their comfort. There was literally the early game and part of the mid for FCAP, and then once they got over that hurdle, it was all SRG.
And now we got to look at our Sony MVP, and it's going to be the Sky Prince Skies, where again, we got to talk about this. Like, we've seen Falcon's AP brand being able to deal with the Ling, but again, I'm pretty sure the way that Skies has been playing it deserves respect back.
Yeah, definitely. And
or pick up, of course.
We can see that for SRG, they're playing the Ling as a team as well. Like I said, they're sacrificing themselves. They're forcing some ultimates first. And I believe that if Sekai picks up this Ling again, well, you know, Sekai's the limit.
Sekai be violent, man. He's so lethal. So, again, I'm halfway through with your theory of him actually just, all right, you guys do what you gotta do. If you die, okay, I'll just shut down whoever it is.
This was a big shutdown.
That's real.
A 5-kill streak.
That's a lot of gold.
I mean, like...
It happened in game number 1 too, where he actually shut down the Kyle TZ supermarket, then all of a sudden he's the richest guy in the lobby.
Yeah. His target acquisition is amazing.
His killer instinct
is out of this world. I mean, like, here's the thing. If Coach Arcadia says, okay, someone has to die just so that Sekais can get a big shutout later, I'd be like, I volunteer.
Is there something?
Sign me up.
100% KP.
With Terengganu junglers.
Oh, yeah, they're amazing.
He grew up in the same province as Chibi.
Yeah.
Right? So there must be something in that province that makes such high-quality killer junglers.
something about their Kropoliko, man. But anyways, right now, honestly, we have an amazing series in our hand. It's just the first 2 games. But for now, we're going to throw it over to our reporters. What do you guys have for us?
We are live at the Amazon Arena. I'm joined by Turner and DJY all the way out from Malaysia. DJY, how are you feeling? What emotions are going through your head right now, sitting with the live audience, watching your team in the grand finals?
It's not looking too good right now, man. AB Brand is leading by 1 point, but it might even go to 2 points right now. But it's okay, man. I believe Malaysia can come back from this, because I still believe that it's going to be a 4-2 in favor of Selangor Red Giants.
Okay, so your expected outcome is a 4-2. Now, is that a non-biased opinion? Do you really think the Selangor Red Giants can come back from this? Because it looks like they are head-to-head with the Titans of MLBB right now.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to say, man, because if I'm being non-biased, right? People say that Malaysia is an easy server, so, you know, maybe AB Brand can actually win this, but, you know, I still have hopes for Malaysia. So, you know, as a Malaysia, we gotta keep supporting Malaysia, man. Selangor Red Giants.
Now, the audience is going wild right now. What message would you have to give over to SRG to push through the series?
What?
What message would you have to give the SRG to push through the series?
What message do I have? Just play more assassins. Don't play tank and junglers. I think that is the key to victory. That's the secret of victory of Selangor Red Giants.
All right, thank you so much, DJY. Thank you so much, Weezy, as well, because we're going to send it back to the studio. And, of course, good luck to the Selangor Red Giants.
Well, for DJY, clearly he didn't see Game 2 coming, because he's like, that's probably 2-0. Well, now it's a 1-1. Now, he said he wants more assassins coming in from SRG. I wonder, though, does Sakai's have something else besides the Ling? Because, again, is either going to be taken away or going to get banned?
There's half a dozen valid assassins right now. I'm sure he plays half of them, even if the Ling does get stolen.
Ling is probably up top when it comes to, like, the ceiling, so he probably knows how to play, like, either Hayabusa, you know. Nolan. Maybe
Fanny was banned before.
Yeah. Elkert Jungle.
Crazy.
Worst comes to worst. Amon.
Oh, yeah. Amon. Yeah.
Natalia, you know.
Maybe.
Natalia has a bit of a stretch, though. It's a bit difficult.
Yeah.
I mean, if anyone can do it, it's him. You know? But yeah, we're jumping in the draft here. It's going to be very interesting to see who's going to be on blue side, because I feel like if Falcons AB Brand gets the blue side, it's going to be very difficult for Selangor Red Giants, where they have to consider they have to be the ones banning out that Ling. It looks like Falcons AB Brand is on blue side, SRG is on red side.
All right, if this continues and the trend is whoever does better in blue, means the draft is a huge influence. It really does dictate who comes in with an advantage. Now, wow.
Yeah, they really respect.
I can smell it. I can smell the Julian being at least here, or the the last ban for SRG, and then a Ling steal.
Can we talk about how we thought that Falcons AB Brand is like, yeah, take the Fanny, but it looks like they're respecting it enough to ban it.
Yeah. I guess there's just a ton of problems that will arise if the Fanny was big. Like you're forced to pick up a Kufra, or you know, somewhere along those lines. You need a hard lockdown. You need a suppress to go with it.
Maybe the Kaj.
Yeah. And interestingly, after dominance in the MSC, the wild cards, in the group stages, in the early parts of the knockout stages, Luyi was king altogether with Chip. Queen, yeah. At this point, I think that it might be snubbed all throughout the series.
Hold on. Now the Harif has been banned out. Looks like for both teams, they're willing to fight against the Luyi if anyone wants to pick it up anyways. But SRG, it's really on them at this time. Yeah. Either they're going to ban out the Roger, they're going to ban out the Ling, or they're going to have to let both of those go.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, Moscow perhaps is an additional ban here for FCAP. They banned the Roger, so this is definitely a race for the Ling. And SRG might be considering just banning that out, because I'm pretty sure the FCAP will prioritize taking that.
If that happens, if this is indeed the Ling ban, does FCAP go Luyi or Julian?
I think they will go Julian. It just makes a lot of sense.
Leave it out. Hey, Valentina's open too.
That's true. And yeah, Valentina is an okay hero when going up against the Julian. So I think SRG might be just very confident about giving that Julian up and maybe just ban the Ling. It's like one of your, you know, sometimes when you're like, whoa, okay.
Let both of them open.
Oh,
we'll see. Do you want to take the Ling away?
Pick your poison.
Because again, like you guys said, they pick up the Ling. Maybe SRG picks up the Julian.
And they can't afford to let the Ling and Angela, or can they? They already beat it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh. So that's definitely the Ling for Falcon Saber Brand. You answered this with a Valentina. Oh no, you answered with Angela.
Julian.
Whoa! It's their turn!
I mean, again, like we just said, you take the Ling, I take the Julian.
This
right?
Could be, yeah.
Stormy. I'm sure you trust your boy.
I trust my boy, man.
Yeah.
The Mage Prodigy, I'm sure, has a Julian in him.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, the last time he used the Julian, that was like, what, season 10, season 9 or something like that. But
years ago, my dog.
But the thing is, when he's using the Julian, everyone else don't have to play.
Yeah.
He'll get all the kills.
That'll be
Valentina Moskov all the way, I believe.
That'll feel great for the guys.
Barretts.
Barretts. How do you feel about this, Wolf?
For you to pick up these heroes in the face of a Julian, which you know to play very well, this must be FCAP knowing the solution.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure. But then that X was CC. I think you pick up the CC now if you're SRG.
Honestly, right now, I want to bring in the casters because for both Gideon and Mirko, I'm pretty sure you guys are watching the pick and bans here. So just want a general idea from you guys. What do you guys feel about the first 3 picks for both teams, FCAP as well as SRG?
We're kind of freaking out here. We were expecting the Ling to get first pick, but then afterwards we were hoping for Yuzong, another vehicle, deny them, and even from SRG side, like they can pick their poison whenever they want to.
They can really do that. I think at this point for SRG, going for, I mean, they already have the Julian, they go for the Claude here, and I get it. For both these, it's all about getting the Julian and the Claude into the mid to late game stage and then battle it out up against this composition.
Wait, is this a Yums, Angela? Because if you are saying what we think we're saying, then
there's a
this
chance.
is a mid Julian and
Again, it's like, it's not really Yums' play style, but Yums is the kind of guy that he's a soldier. You ask me to play Fanny Rome, I'll do it.
It's actually a switch up in the dynamic. Correct me if I'm wrong, Lafel. Gideon, you're listening too. Because what I heard is Stormy says where to go, Yums drives.
Yeah.
Right? Stormy, so it's now Stormy doing the job and Yums just following up.
I mean, if they do that, it really is like just saying to Falcon Saber Brand, what you guys can do, we can do it too. Speaking of which, now we're looking at the bans here. Valentina getting banned out, Yuzong getting banned out. What do you feel about this, Wolf?
Yeah, Valentina, just a valid ban. I thought that should be the 3rd pick of FCAP, but they chose to go for the bats. Understandable because they want to secure that lane. I believe that you also ban what maybe interesting. I want to see ban Kadira because
I mean, we see SRG fought the Julian mid with a Phoveus. Maybe they have some kind of fighter situation in mid that they want to bring up as well.
Yeah, Fue is the first one to actually rock
the mid Phoveus.
The mid Phoveus. So, yep, that's a pretty strong hero to pick up. But I guess the other hero is maybe the Minotaur ban. They banned Tigreal instead. So I think this confirms Julian to be the
mid,
the jungle. I think.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Because you don't.
Makes sense.
Yep. You don't. You kind of want to secure that the jungle farming pattern for the Julian.
I was thinking they were gonna double down and invest in another jungler that's physical.
Yeah.
Hence why they banned out the Tigreal.
Yeah. And then SRG goes what, Ruby this time. I think it doesn't. It just makes a lot of sense picking up the.
What about a CC?
Yeah, I still feel the CC is a great pick.
It's gonna show up.
It's gonna show up for sure. Maybe last pick, or maybe this pick actually. Yeah, no matter what, that's going to be CC. They're just gonna make sure that it's clear. But Ruby is a very safe pick here, the 4th pick, because it's not countered by anything at all. It has great synergy. You can put it in the XP lane if you're forced to do it. I see the world where it is actually picked up as the XP lane.
Yeah, I compromised the Ling too. Like you show it a second of weakness. It's not gonna happen.
Okay.
Unlikely unless there's still room. There's still room for a Ruby.
Casters. What do you guys think about this Tamus pick against the lineup that Falcon and Saber Brand have been showing?
I think that, honestly, it's coming to a point where what exactly are they trying to do? And I think it's going to be playing for these early first turtles to try and get to that mid-game like Mirko was mentioning just now. And from FCAP's side, I mean, they've got to have some strong answers to this because the Barats already should be able to clear faster than the Thamas.
It's all about capitalizing on the mid-game, yeah. It's all about capitalizing on the team fights because what the Thamas allows SRG to do is it allows kind of the whole team to buffer the engage, whereas the Moskov will have to really be careful as to how he actually goes into these team fights, and if he does go in a bit too early, the Vengeance will maul him.
Yeah. There's a Minotaur, very good pick because it counters the Cloud, and there's... it's just about this a big Nook Mage like the Lilia, because the Thames was already shown. You know that it kind of, you know, walks, so it has to actually walk and traverse line, so Lilia makes a valid pickup here.
I love the adjustment. FCAP just says, you want to fight slow? Let's fight slow. Let's make the fight last forever.
Yeah.
If there's any player who knows how to make a Thams work, that's Flapteasy. He won a season championship off of that hero, playing very aggressively. So now it looks like they're going to try to tempo out SRG.
Rock looks decent for SRG, but I would say maybe an Edith. Maybe they'll just go back to the Edith. Oh, okay, the anti-Ling strat, of course.
He's going to be on Kyle TZ for minute 0.
And this is Angela Hilda.
Okay.
That's scary. That's actually really scary.
It's a good draft, but I would still say it's a bit of a risk. But again, going up against world champions, you got to take risks, man.
I love it.
Mirko, Gideon, I hope you guys are ready because it's your turn.
Holy cow, this draft, quickly threw a curveball here. I thought, hey man, this is gonna be tough because FCAP's comp, they're gonna eventually outscale, but it looks like from the side of SRG, they've decided upon, you know what? They've been winning out on the early game. It's time for us to show them what an early game looks like.
Oh, this is gonna be really interesting to see for SRG because technically, yeah, they have a lot of great early game pressure, but even in the later stage, they have that Claw to carry them.
Hopefully it's gonna be enough. We're coming into the land of dawn, boys and girls. It's game number 3. They've managed to jump as high as the Falcons, eye to eye. But can the Falcons soar even higher here in this match? Welcome to the land of dawn with Falcons. AP Brent on the blue side, SRG on the red.
You can already see as the game gets started, the Hilda make a very aggressive maneuver in towards the enemy purple buff here. As the Angela definitely have to go and deal with the waves. And this is why the Lilia is going to be so good for Falcons AP Brett. They get so much more prio and they can rotate over to Yums. And right now, it's already kind of struggling to actually get in the vicinity of that purple buff. Stormy has cleared it out. Kyle TZ on it. He'll be forced to maybe use the Retribution at this point because Yums, he is there trying to screen it out. Kyle TZ bringing it into the bush. Retribution is going to be used. Yes, it does. Yums, successful invade.
Yep, really nicely done, but this means that he might just be going down here to Kyle, right? He is using Warcry.
Okay, flickers out. Yums now doing some damage back. Now with the help of Few, this should be first blood over to Kyle TZ.
Look at the tempo, though, on the bottom side. After the EXP has been pushed out, they're getting Julian involved to start stealing away 1 or 2 camps here. So at least for Sagai's, despite Kyle TZ getting 1 kill, he is a level ahead.
The gold for XP trade. I don't know how that's going to actually help SRG later on, but seriously, if Skies is able to steal a Lord with 2 levels down, I can only imagine if he's the one ahead that he'll not miss a single retry.
Well, we'll see whether Kyle actually still has his retry, considering how much pressure is being applied to him right now by Yums, right? We're expecting Yums to get even more aggressive after the 2-minute mark because then he's not going to get punished as heavily once he's invading those jungles. But take a look at this, right? They're setting up a potential counterattack here down on the bottom side, but SRG sense it.
Again, for Kyle, it's really tough for him to actually maneuver around because if he gets poked down, it's very tough for a Ling up against this kind of composition already. The Julian is actually a great pick against the Ling, so now that if he ever gets chunked before he enters, he's going to be punished even more. And SRG know it. That's why they're not in any rush to go for a neutral objective.
And especially since guys, especially with the chains, right? In combination with Yums trying to disrupt Kyle TZ to maybe get a delayed hold on. He was taking a bit of damage here. He's still got Black Shoes, so he technically should be fine, but now Cram involved.
Again, jumping into the midst of it all, has the helmet. Hard guard pops into Vengeance, jumps to the back line again, dealing damage on Kyle TZ, forcing him back. Cramp standing there menacingly, zoning them away. But Kyle trying to make his way back. That's a flicker forward. Deadson is welcome to the pin down now into the knockout.
Knock up into the Fury as well. What a combo from Falcon's AP Bren. Stormy able to flicker out to safety. Cram will do so as well. What a recovery.
Really nicely done. Very nicely done. The weird part is that we did see Cram spot out the Ling on the mid wall when it all occurred, right? For all intents and purposes, Molten Size, he could definitely throw it at him, try to push him off that, try and honestly push him off of that wall, maybe even get Yums to help out with that as well. But instead, they start peeling backwards and they completely forget that Flap has the flicker.
Flap TZ on the Barats. He makes it feel like a Ling. He makes it feel like it's a mechanical hero. Detona's welcome flicker combo connecting every single time, even in game number 1, finding the prio targets. He was able to find the target he needed, and it was Skies. Straight into the pin, and now we get a look at the items. Does look like for at least Innocent, he's actually quite a bit ahead. 300 gold as he goes in for the push. Turn of the night, the waves from Super Marco, immobility. Super Marco able to get out now, trying to go for the pin down out the Sky Spear of Destruction as well. Now onto the back, bringing him back over for Kyle TZ to assassinate him. Well played, but the enhanced sword gets him out, Skies. Not for long. Stormy caught as well. They find a trade, but it's definitely not worth it, not just yet. 2 members down, Yums dealing some damage. Not able to go for the full assassination on the few. It's actually him forced to flicker out. Baptiste, the Dino, walking back as well to knock up, and then everything in the kitchen sink to deal with Yums.
Ooh, okay. I'm surprised. Honestly, I'm surprised the fact that Sakai stayed alive that long to chunk out Super Marco like that. At the end of the day, it's still a very well worth trade for Falcon's AP Bread. Now Super Marco's got 4 assists in the bag. Ogwin, unfortunately, has 2 kills, but hey, you take what you can get at this point of time, right? As long as you're able to accelerate Kyle TZ, he's going to drive the momentum for Falcon's AP Bread. SRG need to have much cleaner fights right now. Let's look at the items one more time, and the lead still in favor of Innocent.
Again, though, in the purple buff, Yums, Power of Wilderness already used up the Retribution. Baited out of the Kyle. But now with the Defiant Blade, he should be able to deal with Yums. He tried to get into that bush, but it will only give Kyle the unstoppable he needs. 5-0. Flask of the Oasis Power Spike for the Minotaur.
Yeah, but despite all that, 5-0-2, a wonderful KDA to have. And yet, guys, despite being 0-2-1, the same level as Kyle TZ, they're doing something right here, right? They are trading gold for a little bit of extra time and EXP. And that is going to keep SRG in the game because, as we mentioned before, it's about that mid-game, right? That big mid-game spike.
Krem, poked down a bit. Good position on that choke point. Krem unable to really go in. The missiles not able to connect right now, but Krem will be brought back forward. Pops in the ultimate, has the heart guard to play with. Stormy is hovering over him. Taking a lot of damage though, Kyle now. Able to recover, able to clear some waves, able to clear some of the creeps. 1 level ahead of Skies. He's back again.
And finally, for the very first time, we see SRG say, no, we're not going to contest. We're finally just going to retreat. And Stormy's going to top off his boy Cram here because it could be a setup angle for a dive. And I think that's a very good call considering everything that has happened here. But in the mid lane, at least the guys finding opportunities. Wait, that just is... They're not going to dive that for sure. But let's look at the gold difference, right? Because while everything is happening, it looks like Innocent has been doing a phenomenal job, now extending his 500 gold lead to an 800 gold lead.
He can go band for band. He can go M for M with Super Marco.
I was not going to follow up you on that reference. I knew you were going to pull it out as well. Let's look at the items because now you can see that the 800 golds make only the slightest difference, right? It's Golden Staff already built on top of that DHS. But let's cut back to the supports because the Flask of Oasis is going to be a lot better than just Steel Paints.
Gotta be careful though. Look at this. The Dynoman up top. Oh, one with the knock up, getting chunked down. It's a bit of damage. I think it was from the turret, Yums, and then a few basic attacks from Innocent too. Now walking up forward. BMI defensively again. Both teams really just looking for an angle to find an advantage.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what Kyle TZ has built. I just saw the GDS actually getting purchased, and I don't know if he's fast-forwarding the GDS instead of getting the Haasclaw, or maybe he already has the Haasclaw in time on top of the Berserker's Fury, right? That's the atypical build that we like to see. Wait, he's not gonna...
Forcing Tempest of Blade, Skies has the enhanced sword, goes for the chase down, has the heart guard to help him too. Kyle TZ gets out. And SRG want to capitalize. Cram straight into the bottom lane. Wants to cut this wave to find that prio.
And it just goes to show that KDA isn't everything to all of our ranked demons out there, man. Like, look at that. He's a full level down, and you compare it 5-0-2 to 0-2-1. In what world does that win?
In this world. 7 minutes in, Game 3 of the Grand Finals of MSC 2024. But Super Marco will be able to utilize that advantage up top, the 3-man advantage, to take a Tier 1. Now straight into the bottom lane, utilizing the movement speed, but SRG are on it. Sky, Stormy, and Cram. Look at maneuvers coming in from Falcon's AP brand, trying to recover the space. Need to be chunked by Yums. Forced to flick around, actually. Super Marco with the Abyss Walker, also with the Spirit of Misery, trying to really go for the poke onto Innocent as Calteezy holds on it. No purple buff on him. Flapteezy, in the midst of it all, caught in the poke. So much poke placed on him, still able to flicker death to this Welcome, finding Skies again, and this time it's going to be Skies, dealing some damage back again. Ogre with a mock-up, Calteezy with a blaze, still able to survive, Cram with a vengeance, Yums in the back, it's Skies getting soloed. Ogwin will fall as well to Innocent. A trade for now. Falcons AP Brand, they secure all 3 neutral objectives.
I mean, at this point, I bet even the audience is tired of like, how does only 2 people die? Despite everything that has happened, these battle spells, these flickers especially are proving extremely valuable. I would have imagined at the very minimum that maybe few probably needed to purify or something, but even Flapteezy, wow, that was just, man, how does he get away with this?
I can't believe he's done it. Well, at this point, I don't even know how many times he's done it, but the fact that he keeps getting Skies, and in Game 1 he kept getting Innocent. Barat's the death to his welcome. Usually we see the death to his welcome miss, especially when it's combo with the flicker. This guy still gets it every single time.
Man's got aimbots somehow. It's inbuilt to his fingers somehow. I don't know. There's no explanation for it.
There is an explanation.
Good. What is the explanation?
Tobey Maguire got bit by a spider. Flapteezy got bit by a goat.
Oh, this guy is just, he's too good. He's too good. But at the same time, right, SRG continue to try and keep it even with Falcon's AP Brand. Yes, it is a 3K differential between the 2 teams, but we've seen time and time again that SRG have made miracles happen, and Falcon's AP Brand are now taking a much slower approach to SRG than they have before. They're not just throwing people at the wall and hoping that it sticks.
Here, though, you can see Yom's trying to screen out Skies, able to clear out the mini wave in the bottom lane. And again, for Selangor Red Giants, they have a really good way to actually minimize their losses, right? Every single time they're actually behind, when they don't have tempo around the map, they're still able to catch every single wave, while also denying any pickoff from happening, which is very, very impressive up against a team like Falcons AP Bren. Usually a 1,000 gold lead means that it will give them a billion more opportunities to look for pickoffs around the map.
Yeah, but it's starting to look more even. Even we're talking about like priority, right? Like Cram half the time is able to kind of match up unless we do see Flapteezy sacrifice a bit of his wave just to get there on time. That's the cost. That's the big brass tacks that both of these teams are applying onto each other. Every single one of these moves need to have purpose, and it always comes with a cost. That being said, though, this Lord Dance is going to be extremely important for the 2. The worst part about it is that Falcon's AP Brem probably can do it slightly better thanks to the help of Ogwin on this Minotaur.
Slowly but surely, again, for Falcon's AP Brem, this is the new version of the Lord Dance. With the changes, it's all about the Lord, do we call it a step? It's a tap dance, kind of back and forth a little bit, you know? It's a tango.
Cha-cha. Yeah, it's a tango. It's much more of a tango than it used to be, than just sitting and doing the waltz, right? But at the end of the day, Minotaur is really, really good at...
Ooh, almost catching him with the enhanced chain, but Kyle still able to utilize the Finch poise. He is low, though. He'll get the motivation roar. He'll get that sustain.
I think this is a pretty good opportunity for SRG to start taking the space back here. However, Few not making it easy, right? Drawing the borders in the river, making sure Gloom is going to set the tone for this upcoming fight.
Oh, what a nature. Perfect timing here for Falcon's AP Bren. Now it'll come down to Skies to really deal with Super Marco. Yums in the front, trying to deal some damage on the Flapteezy. Will be able to do so as Cram walks up forward as well. Jumps into the midst of it all, still able to pop the ultimate. Now Innocent, deals some damage, jumps in the midst of it all again. Jumping forward, Super Marco, with an nature, but Skies goes in for the assassination, still able to find a Spirit of Misery. That's his welcome in the pin down. But now the winner Cram from Skies, he tries to stay alive, but Kyle Teasy is an absolute monster!
With 5-3 so far, Kyle, I mean, he's not going to die here, but look, 12-2, and SRG finally making a big mistake here. As we look at the replay, this looked like a great engage, and I think it was a good idea that even Yum's flickering forward to try and disrupt the backline, especially since Super Marco honestly was in a pretty dangerous position. Now they're in their base. Can they close it?
Stormy trying his best to actually evade from it. The Cannon Minion not in range just yet. Cram, he did what he needed to. He stopped the minion from getting into the range. but still, it's another 2 members down.
At this point, like you mentioned before, Wind of Nature came at a very convenient time for Super Marco. Without that, he probably would have died to Sakai's or wouldn't have enough health to actually survive from him. Luckily, he still played it as best as he could. Oh, God.
Youm's pinned down, flicker forward, enhanced sword from Sky, Spear of Destruction! Super Marco with a chase forward to find a double!
A statement piece by Falcons AP Brent with a double kill from Super Marco. But they gotta breathe for a moment. These chain deaths from SRG is supercharging Falcons AP Brent as they're pushing the momentum to the crystal.
The base wide open, Super Marco will deal with him, but he'll go for Cram just first. So Marco taking a hold of that with the vengeance! And the turret shot takes him down. Cram against the world, now it's Stormy against the world. He'll still be able to survive. View chasing him down, it's a mistake! Falcons AP Brent, they still have a Lord to play with.
Innocent in 4, Sakai's already back alive. Falcons AP Brent, did they mistime this, unfortunately?
They did.
They recover. Let's breathe for a moment here because we know that this whopping score might just mean nothing in just a little bit. So far, goal differential, a full 7K ahead. When we look at the items, the Winter Crowns have already been purchased since earlier, but now even more people have it with more invulnerability frames to work with. At this point, the question really is, SRG, how are you going to make this miracle happen again? Can somebody deal with this Daytona's welcome from Flat TZ? And more importantly, Few. Now that he has the Ice Queen's wand, it's very dangerous to walk up.
I think it's all about Skies with the enhanced scythe. If he really wants to deal with Death in his welcome, it's all about him evading and then trying to melt Flat TZ down. Look at Youm's going in onto Few with the Power Wilderness. Cram as well forcing the Black Shoe. Skies right there, goes in for some damage with Lazy Dude. Few still able to escape, and Youm chases him down. Skies win a crown in the midst of it all. As Owen gets isolated, Skies will too. Flap TZ, Detona's welcome, now into the mist, pinning him down straight for Super Marco again! The Spear of Destruction, whiffing this time, Stormy able to survive. The same 2 members, Cram and Stormy. Can they do it again? This time, dodging away from the missiles, able to go for the clear onto the waves, no lore to play with. Have they survived again?
I think it's fine for SRG. It's going to be hard to close it out at this point in time with 3 members still alive, right? But they trade 2 for 2, and I think at the end of the day, it should be good enough. Oh, no.
Hard guard, and the ultimate now turning things around, forcing him with a crown from Flap TZ. He's going to be melted down, but so is Cram. Super Marco with the help of Kyle TZ. Picks up a double. The mini-wave still there. They're going to go for it, and they will secure game number 3.
Oh my goodness, this game is coming down to the inches here. The chain deaths coming in from SRG side, supercharging and doubling the momentum generated by Falcons AP Brent. Put them in such a bad spot. Miracles only happen when you work for them and you make some good decisions. That one was not on top of the list.
Well played. Falcons AP Brent, they really adjusted to the mistakes they made in game number 2. They weren't composed enough. They weren't controlled enough. And in game number 3, they decided it's all the way from the start to the finish.
Consistent step-by-step process. Falcons AP Brent really showing why they're some of the best players and the defending world champions. I think that SRG, unfortunately for them, this is going to put them in their place a little bit more. Falcons still in the air. They're still punching up towards them despite being giants.
All this time, even after the miracle defenses, Falcons AP Brent still fly above the rest.
Well, analysts, it's time for you to break this down. What could both of these teams have done better?
I mean, I feel like we can go very different angles here, but I do have to say, for the 2 games that SRG lost was with that Angela. Even though it did look good, but it looks like it's not good enough to get that W.
I hate to say it, during the draft, we were all saying, hey, maybe it's time to put Stormy on a hero that is actually proactive, that has the mechanics and the damage to output to actually put the team on his back. But no, the glaring thing here, for me personally, would be the hill down Youm's. We saw it as a bold choice.
Yeah.
Definitely one way to maybe stop Kyle TZ's Ling, but in essence, it's such a reactive hero. I really didn't feel much of Youm's.
Gimmicky. Right?
They were a step behind for the most part.
And okay, so my argument with that is it works. This is I would say this is a regular season or a group stage kind of answer to the Ling. right? Because you can see that it can easily like trump the early stages, and if it does become successful, it's gonna be great. Ling is gonna struggle. However, this is the grand finals, and they have solutions for that. I'm sure that prior to picking up the Ling, you're also prepared for that. So I think that if you dedicate taking the Angela and taking the Hilda, then just to answer one pick,
exactly.
That's not that economic, if you think about it.
It was a permanent solution to a temporary problem that, you know, maybe even FCAP was ready for. Honestly, not just maybe. They literally were ready for. It's very rare that you don't feel Humes, especially since he started playing for SRG.
Honestly, the one that really seemed to be a problem was Flap as well as Few on this Barats, as well as the Lilia. The Lilia did her job very well, zoning out SRG far away.
Okay, so what you achieve from this pick, right? If you pick up the Lilia, you get late prio. You trump the Angela in a mid versus mid matchup. There's no way the Angela can win that matchup. Then you get out of the lane. You super serve your teammates by applying the damage because you're uncontested in the first 3 minutes or 5 minutes of the game. Come the second turtle, you're actually a force to be reckoned with.
And come big team fights, you almost undo the doorstop that is the Tams, and you even outlast the Hilda because you drop the glooms, you blow them up with the shadow energy, she hides into the bush, and then next thing you know, she comes out. You can do the same thing again. There's very little that it costs Few to push out 2 or 3 members of SRG.
And a little tech there for that it kind of counters the Julian is that the Julian wants to go all in for marksman, your position for, but it's almost like not a choice at all. It's not like going for the Lilia isn't even part of the choices there for Sakai's because it's not worth it.
It's a waste, honestly.
Yeah, again, because of the black shoes as well. Like, if you don't burst in, I mean, like, Few is probably waiting for that to happen just to press the alt.
Not to mention, he also has free ways to check bushes. Right? So, again, already for 2 games now, prior to this one, Sakai's has been playing the Ling. He can come in from any angle. He has a free go at the back line. Now he has to go through bushes, which most likely has a shadow energy or gloom in it. And then he also has to be honest about his engages. Even if he does have a Hilda checking forward or an Angel as a backup for his entry. It's SRG across game 1 and 2 were a step behind.
Either way, can we say that this Lilia pick was absolute genius? It really stopped SRG from doing whatever they wanted to do.
It was. It's the anti-assassin build. At the same time, you have the Minotaur to because you pick up the Lilia, which usually, you know, the mid laners are kind of backed up by roamers. Lilia is very independent. In fact, the Minotaur had Ogwyn had a time of his life in a way that he was able to achieve whatever he needed to achieve because he doesn't have to take care of another hero in the mid lane.
What the Lilia Minotaur brings is a mobile box. The Minotaur defines where the box is, and then the Lilia sets where they can push forward, which is why often in this game we see more than I think the regular game between other teams is the flicker forward Minoan Fury, because you know that the Lilia can follow up. You know that it's more than just a singular CC to maybe push forward or disengage. It's always CC plus extra.
So part of the loss here, is it that SRG really fumbled the draft?
I wouldn't say they fumbled. I think that it was just an over investment onto answering the Ling. At the same time, you go for the Hilda. It looked like it worked. I think that it's not about them countering the Ling at all. It's more like they're putting their important players in a spot where they're not able to play their game. Storm is not playing the best game of his life. Humes, I really like him with setup heroes. With the Hilda, you're very honest. No hiding. You're just literally showing everywhere. There's no surprise factor at all.
What's the highlight for the highlight maker if you're a Hilda?
Exactly. No, I agree. But now we got to look at our Sony MVP. And it's going over to Kyle Teasy. So looks like the name of the grand finals is the Ling.
Yep. It's the Ling.
I'm proud of how Kyle has stepped up to the plate. For the 2 years that they've been a team, for the 2 years that they trusted the process, it's very rare that Kyle Teasy is the one on the pedestal. And here at MSC, here in the grand finals, There's a lot on Kyle TZ's shoulders, and I'm glad that he's putting the team on his back.
He went the reverse way when it comes to like being the superstar of the team as a jungler, because usually when you're a star jungler, you start as the assassin / damage dealing jungler that you're always about the highlights. He started. He was known because he's assassin plays, but he got famous because of how well he utilized the utility heroes.
That was the meta at the time.
That was the meta. He did his sacrifice. Now it's time to shine.
And honestly, looking at the way Kyle TZ is playing, it almost like he has multiple ways to carry the game. It doesn't have to be a huge KDA spike, doesn't have to like do any kind of flashy plays, just like you guys said.
Kyle TZ is playing 4D chess. He has so many moves, so many options, despite there being so many doorstops to his birth into team fights. And that's one of the things that you cannot... Wait, no, what?
18 KDA.
That's what I was going to say. That's one of the things you cannot just find in mechanics. That's beyond mechanics.
Yeah. I got to say, throughout this best of 7 so far, it looks like SRG, they're playing with a handicap because every single time, the early game, it always goes over to Falcon's AP brand. And with that being said, yeah, you know what, someone has said it, I do say that a lot. Anyways, we're going for a quick break. After this, it's going to be Falcon's AP brand against Selangor Red Giants. And welcome back. Just to update the score right now is 2-1. We're 2 going over to Falcons AP brand. SRG only having 1 point. Welcome back. My name is Afel. Alongside with me is Wolf as well as Leo. As you guys can see, based on today's games, I'm a little bit tongue-tied.
Yeah. Why, I wonder?
Well,
who knows, right?
Who knows?
Am I right, guys? Am I right?
You have the right to feel that way because
thank you.
How's stressful, actually. I think that's a perfect word right now. Even
Dude,
for
I might start bleeding again.
I think overall for all defense, like Filipinos, Malaysians, very stressful. Even in game number 3, you can argue that there were times where you would think like, okay, this is actually winnable for SRG.
Yeah, they had ins.
Yeah.
But the fundamental problem with the draft and what they came in with kind of bit them in the behind. Much like game 1. Is this not the story of game 1? Yeah. Wherein they're like, oh, whoa, 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 it's greedy, but they're making it work. And then, oh, never mind.
Yeah. Well, now we're jumping back into the draft here. SRG, blue side, Falcons AP brand, red side, betting on that Julian. So it has to be a Ling bank.
It has to be a Ling bank. I agree.
Take it away.
Take it away. Like, we've seen what happens when Skies doesn't get the Ling.
Get out of here. He's just too good. Yeah. That is the most respectful way I can say it.
Yeah.
He's just too good.
Yeah. Or open up the Angela, tempt SRG to pick up this Angela once again. And you know what else is actually forced out when you pick up the Ling, as well as the Moskov? If you go Ling Moskov, you're already very greedy, right?
Yeah.
That means that Cram will be forced to a hero that
skills as well.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what happened.
Well, game number 1, they tried for the CC, which almost worked, but then it was still very greedy. Cram is a player that wants to have at least some farm in him, right?
Yeah.
So picking up the Thams, for example, might not be the best solution. Now, if you're looking back at F-Cap, it's the complete opposite. Flap TZ doesn't care about farm. He's that hero, is that player that will pick up the Barretts.
He's a Detna's welcome machine, a final slash machine. It just so happened that whenever we see him on the Arlet, he just goes ham. But yeah, he's happy with just that kind of role.
Okay, so what is opened up here? Luyi, Moskov,
Valentina. Oh no, it's banned out. Oh no.
It was banned out.
Yeah.
So Angela as well is open.
I don't want Angela, man.
I reckon
want to pick up the Moskov. Yeah, the Moskov is just a very good pick overall. But in this scenario, without the Lingus with the Julian, yes. Hayabusa, but then you also pick up Terizla, I believe. So I think Terizla, it will...
Arlet's open for the first time.
Luyi as well. Luyi Arlet.
That sounds good.
Arlet. Ooh.
Luyi Arlet, and then you wait for the swing, and you pick up the Haya.
Knowing F-Cap, though, they might just go for...
The Riz.
The Riz.
Yeah. So you go Luyi Riz?
Luyi Riz. Arlet, okay. Yeah. Obviously, why would you pass up on a very good combo when Ling is not available?
Is this Flap whispering in Treb's ears like, let me have it?
Now we got a player quote coming in from the assistant coach, Ozora Vecchi from Selangor Red Giants. Ducky is really smart. Falcons AP brand have strong priority picks and good understanding of the meta. He's the reason Falcons AP brand is able to stay consistent.
Yeah. Okay, they still want to pick up the Luyi because, I don't like it going up against Arlet overall, and then the Claude also is a problem for the Luyi.
By picking up the Luyi into the Arlet, you essentially feed yourself to a 5-man final slash.
Oh, I love it.
You don't want that.
I
love
like
it.
It's risky. Okay, here's the thing. Wolf, you like it.
I love it.
For me, I feel it's risky.
It's the Fanny. We're talking about the Fanny, folks.
Let's ask the casters. This Fanny pick. Casters, give us your insight.
Here, let me just explain to you. Our reaction to it, well, at least Miracle's reaction was, oh, that's good. And I'm just like, I don't know. I agree with you, LaFell. It is quite risky.
Why is it that us we're
that's trauma. That's just PTSD from relations, honestly.
But we've gone through a lot.
All the more, I think I'm gonna side I'm gonna err on the side of caution because they picked up on a Kyle TZ, you know.
I see what you did there.
Because, again, you bring out the big guns when the Fanny comes through for the first time in the series. This is Kyle TZ's first time on a utility this series. So that means they're ready for this. It came out, what, 5 seconds after the pick?
Yeah, definitely the answer. Or also massive combo with the Arlot. But, you know what? I think this is the time where it will be damage dealing hero for Flap. So it will be like dependent on like the damage. Maybe
like a pack.
Like a pack, exactly. Which is great versus this Moskov. I think the best hero overall though is Yuzhong with the Petrify. You can actually
hunt for Innocent.
Hunt for Innocent. You can also hunt for the Fanny. So if you're SRG, if you're paying attention, ban the Yuzhong. That's gonna be a problem for you.
What about Faramis?
A Faramis.
Right, denying the
still no mid laner for FCAP.
No mid lane.
Yep, there we go. Famous ban.
I
play MLBB.
Yeah?
Sometimes.
Assassins generally don't like playing up against the Faramis, so
I understand.
Very good ban. You ban Tigreal perhaps if you want to double down.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of all 3 heroes for FCAP are physical, so the Tigreal would be a smart ban here.
Yeah. Innate Kira. Oh, okay, of course. Cover your base.
Oh, they're not gonna risk it. They'd rather deal with the implosion.
Yeah.
What does Stormy play here?
What if they What if they pick up the Tigreal themselves?
They can on the clapback.
And then Arlott from Flap TZ, just like in M5.
Just like the other day.
Just like the other day too. So that opens up a lot. Like you already have Implosion, you have the knockup from the Tigreal, they have the Akai with infinite amounts of vengeance juggles here coming out from of the Arlott if ever they do pick up the Tigreal. However, I still feel the Yuzhong needs to be banned here for SRG.
They gotta pick their poison.
It's the Crockett.
They're covering up the roamer choices, I see.
Okay. I wonder what Humes wants to play, because again, he's the highlight maker.
Yeah.
Highlight makers, Cho, Ruby, that kind of picks. Lilia picked up again, so Falcons AB Brand, they're gonna have priority. So this is making me feel more worried about the Fanny pick.
Yeah, but maybe a Lolita for Humes?
Lolita's fine, yeah.
Going up against a Claude, I think...
I don't like the interaction with the Lilia, though. She just tears through you.
Sure. What else? Maybe they snatch a Tigreal, I guess.
But the thing is, Falcons AB Brand, they have a lot of ways to survive, right? The Purify from the Lilia as well as the Claude, the Akai with the innate Purify as well.
Disengage, yeah.
So it's kind of like, I can see the Tigreal pick, but I feel like it's going to get countered so hard.
How about Aurora for SRG?
Yeah.
Looks to be Aurora and then Tigreal. That's a really good combo. It opens up a lot. It's
the Cho. It's the Cho Novaria.
Chovaria.
Okay, now FCAP, they are the ones who's gonna pick up Lolita. Yeah, go.
SRG have to fight very specifically, and they have to be proactive.
Good start for SRG, but FCAP, the last two picks.
They found the answer.
They found the answer. Lilia Lolita.
I refuse to give any opinions.
BTK combo.
My job ends here. Thank you very much to the analysts, Mirko as well as Gideon. Good luck for this game.
Yeah, we're gonna need some luck on this one, because I think that Lolita pick solves a lot of the problems. Single target lockdown, big disengage, big re-engage with the flicker, the shield to say no to Innocent for once.
Also the Lilia with insane mid-prio, so they can actually go for the invades a whole lot. Utilize the Arlott, utilize the Akai as well. Try to go for the purple buff with the Fanny, and if Skies doesn't get the purple buff, I think it really looks like for Falcons AP Bren, purple buff number 2, they're going to start threatening it.
Well, hopefully it's going to be enough here. Again, a lot of factors are coming into play. Whether or not Cram is able to find that priority to contest for it, whether or not we are going to see Skies make miracles happen once again, this time on an even more dangerous pick for the early game. It's time for game number 4. SRG now on the blue side up against Falcons AP Bren on the red.
It's the battle for match point for Falcons AP Bren. 1 game away from match point for SRG, a bit further on the climb. You know, I was talking about how, all right, on the Novaria, it's a great pick, especially considering this is the first time that we get to see Falcons AP Bren, at least in the knockout stage, on utility, back again. So Novaria provides a lot of good poke, and then obviously when the Lolita came up, it's just like, can't believe I forgot about this, right? The pick that was able to send their bitter rivals, Liquid Echo, in the semifinals out. They were able to counter Edith and carry, it was.
Yeah, and I think that the Cho pick is actually a pretty good substitute for it, right? Because again, you're fighting for that mid-prio. You are going to take some damage. You need some way to kind of not only defend yourself, but clear that waves effectively. Here we go.
Good damage down. Down Flap TZ goes in still. Flap TZ still able to use the Vengeance, but now the swing of the hammer Skies with first blood.
Did he forget that Fanny was in play? I don't know. That was kind of weird. That was kind of weird from Flap. He definitely could have like completely disengaged, but let's see if they're going to get... Ooh. No! Another one on top of that!
Great start for Selangor Red Giants. A kill onto Skies, a kill onto Cram. That's XP Prio and Jungle Prio.
I think that honestly solves a lot of the problems we were worried about for SRG. Now the early game is actually somewhat doable this time around. Maybe, I don't know, it could just be like blue side being the ultimate side at this point, right? Is that? I think that's what we're kind of devoting it to.
So far, that has been the case, and now again, Yum's able to clear out the mid lane. Level 4 advantage for Falcons AP Brand. But take a look at Flapteezy. Uncharacteristically, not level 4 at the first turtle. Cram swinging a hammer down. Flapteezy down to half. Yum's dealing some damage again as Cram pops in a penalty zone. Calteezy in the midst of it all right now on the neutral objective. Will be able to find this. Flap gets the shielding. Spear of Destruction. One last shot should do it, but Flap again is able to survive with just 1 HP. Skies on the chain, finds him with a push Flap. Still able to go for a lot of those shots, but the cables are inevitable.
He's mad. Flapteezy's mad. He's like, oh man, maybe Yums just didn't see like the little slight bit of green left on his health. Let's have a look at this one more time. As Skies, again, great call on this one, right? For all we know, Flapteezy, he hits level 4 just in time and tries to sustain through that damage. If he connected with that final slash, that could have bought him at least one more second of time for somebody to find the trade back, especially since Ogwin on this Lolita has single target lockdown with the charge. At this point in time, with Fanny having an EXP lead, that's a great... Wait, now they have Prio over this. Are they going to send the mid lane over to it? No, they're not.
No, it's just back and forth again for SRG. They have this lead, so no real reason to actually force a lot of these fights. And you can get to see that interaction with the Bulwark, sending it back towards the Navaria. But SRG, actually, they're holding out in the mid lane very well, too, when it comes to clear away the Dragon. Walking Ogwin down straight into the Blades of Skies. 3-0.
That was a great idea. This is a great idea. This is why I really liked the Cho pick when we see Yums play. Yes, he wants to make highlights, but at the same time, there's a lot of interesting interactions, and most importantly, he can cancel out Ogwin's Numenon Blast early. He can kick him out of position, and the same can be said about Calteezy when we come down to these Lord situations. It's how do we utilize this way of the Dragon effectively?
Good Black Shoes usage there by Few, able to evade from Skies' damage. But now he's on the purple buff, and Yums will have to buy some space. Stormy in the mid lane as well, trying to clear it out. Trying to get this prio for Skies. Calteezy already jumping onto Yums, trying to find a trade for the purple buff. But Yums is going to be caught, forced to flicker out. Super Marco on the chase, the flicker. No flicker. It's just a few recalls. Innocent with a pin down in the mid lane. What happened? Few got picked off.
I mean, everything is happening all at the same time. He's caught mid-rotation here, and now the penalty zone to look for more.
Oh, Spear of Destruction as well. Now he's going to be Innocent. Caught in the final slash, still able to evade right now, but the Numenon Blast is able to connect. He has the Purify. He baited out the Vengeance straight into the kick. Into another spear from Innocent.
Dude, talk about well-played Innocent there, right? He purposefully delays until he sees the engagement, the vengeance coming in from Flapteezy, hits that Purify so that he's stuck. Once he's on top of that Moskov, he's got nowhere else to dash because it goes on cooldown.
Skies with the cables. Oh! He's able to steal it away again! This time a level ahead.
It's not about the players anymore. It's blue side. It's something about blue side, right? It's sorcery. How is this fair? How is blue side so dominant in this game thus far? I thought the draft coming up for Falcons Apron Brand is honestly not that bad, but considering these early interactions not falling into their favor, it looks like SRG really taking advantage of every single bit here. But same like last game, that mid-game spike from Falcons AP Brand. We need to see that happen. So far, Calteezy hasn't been able to create too many opportunities just yet, but that's all due because some people are getting caught off. Other times, you just don't have the battle spells.
Man, I just keep remembering now with this kind of performance on the Assassins versus the Utility, I keep on remembering and recalling that interview with the Malaysian content creator. What is his name? I think it was DJY. He said, go Assassins. Assassins #1, he said.
Assassins is the way to play the game, right? I mean, look at that. He's already got... Oh, my goodness. At least he's building up to a 2K lead onto Calteezy 6 minutes into this game. But that's when we see Falcons AP Brand, right? Their comp really comes online once they start grouping up together.
Okay, Super Marco able to read it out. Has the Purify, but now with the cables, the way the Dragon comes in, cuts those Skies! Wow!
Are we playing on mouse and keyboard or something? This he's literally pointing, clicking, that man must die, and they find it each and every time.
It's a target ability for Skies.
Oh, it is. And it's about to get even worse for the side of Falcons AP Brand if they keep on slipping up on these leads from SRG. And right now, the main attack dog, the initiator, Yums, he's doing so much this game.
Doesn't have the weight of Dragon here, but will be able to knock him up. Flapteezy gonna be knocked out. The penalty's all canceled by the stun. Kyle Teasy caught on the Astral Echo Innocent. Now with the Abyss Walker as well, very low. No pin down with the Spear of Misery. Good cover from Ogwen. But he's forced to recall out. That's a free neutral objective to the Assassin Jungler.
Honestly, not too bad. At least Falcons AP Brand aren't giving anything over to SRG besides the turtle. Oh, penalty zone though, onto few. Forcing him to use that black shoes, not that big of a deal. That's just an alt use. It's not like they're going to fight each other anyways, but SRG, I think they want to invade, and they're considering the options. I mean, they've got the Way of the Dragon ready. They could do it, but at the same time, the lack of purple buffs from Sakai's means that SRG just have to wait.
You can see the difference in level already. This is why the Assassins have been able to find so much more value in this meta. The clear speed is ridiculous. On top of that, how fast you are, so mobile, you can go and catch a lot of these waves that most utility junglers will have to give up. It's a 2-level lead for Skies, so finally, after 3 games, he finds himself ahead in level against Kyle Teasy.
Hey man, similar to SRG, Falcons AP Brand have been known to flip fights over despite having massive losses in the earlier stages of the game. They're great at their timings. Both of these teams have a lot of similarities. Look at Skies, he's again pulling Falcons AP Brand away from each other, trying to not enable their comp.
These cables from Skies, man. Cram in the mid lane, goes for the penalty zone. Oh, the tenacity on the boots. Gets him out of the heavy spin, he flickers out of it. Meanwhile, down below, Skies!
Man.
What?
I mean, what can you really say about that, right? It's just unlucky, I guess. I mean, Flapteezy, he's just not, he doesn't have enough stacks. He just got the Thunder Belt as well. He doesn't have enough hybrid defense to survive through it. And even if he does, technically it doesn't matter because Skies has the Malefic Roar. The more hybrid stats, the better it is for me. The more I'll just cut right through it.
Man, Wolf and Leo, they were talking about, Flapteezy on the Arlet. He should be able to do what he did at M5. He should be able to do what he did just 2 days ago. This is an unreal stat, 0-4-0.
Okay, we can't count them out just yet, right? But we know that the game has been accelerated to a point of no return. I think that from both sides, it could be like a quick game for SRG to move on, and Falcons AP Brand will then take blue side. Or if Falcons AP Brand really want to slow this down, we're hoping for some big plays from the initiators. Like, if not for Flapteezy, sure, maybe they can extend and guarantee a fight win, but Ogren and as well as Kyle Teasy need to work with some angles here against SRG. And unless Yums is caught slacking with that Shunpo, because right now he's playing mechanically perfect.
This is a big problem, by the way, for Falcons AP Brand.
Even the hand.
Yeah, I'm not talking about Yums recalling, by the way. That's also a problem. It's emotional damage that they are receiving every single tap of the recall. But really for SRG, it's how they're able to utilize the 1-3-1 formation as well. Fanny up top or Moskov up top and then someone else down below. Skies, you blink and you miss that, right? You blink and you die. Super Marco, great reaction time to evade from it. Without the Wind of Nature, he really has to respect Skies' damage. And you can see for Innocent, he's already on to the Lord. Kyle Teasy to be chunked down. Penalty zone, locking him down now with the help of Yoji. Kudos left! He misses the final slash. Skies finds it!
Okay, they're just gonna back away at this point, right? SRG don't need to extend the lead. They've already committed, I mean, they got Flapteezy's final slash and the flicker as well. Maybe he's just looking for some sort of redemption in these fights, but it's fine, right? Falcons, they can technically lose their outer tier 1 and 2 in mid. They just need to make sure they high ground defense. Oh god.
Skies now, oh, Skies!
He's out of there. He's out of there.
Oh my goodness!
This kid's insane!
Few now going to be caught in. Innocent able to take him down. Penalty zone locking him down as well. Meanwhile, Way of the Dragon from Yums. Skies again, looking for the assassination, gets knocked up before he can do anything. But they will be able to take some of these turrets. Base turret up top taken down from SRG. 10-0 up against Falcons AP Brand. Ogwen forced back, forced to flicker out. Still with the Lord. This is the first Lord of the game. And they're looking for an end angle. Skies again with the cables.
Okay. Okay, finally I can breathe here. SRG, they've set up checkmate angle, and we haven't seen a checkmate angle in a long time here at the playoffs, right? A 10k gold lead for the side of SRG, a missing inhibitor from the side of Falcons AP Brand. On this next lore take, Falcons AP Brand really need to discuss how they're going to approach this. Yes, they have zone control, but so far, SRG, now that the lore dance is more of a tango than it is a waltz, this push and pull is not in Falcon AP Brand's favor.
Not at all. It really feels like they're just so far behind, and it is because they are far behind. Super Marco, super far behind, doesn't have the win of nature just yet. So even when he gets that win of nature, Stormy is going to be a constant threat. Remember, the Astral Echo straight into the almost unmissable Astral Spheres. He's going to have to build double time.
Yep.
Win of nature, Rose Gold, and he's going to have to do it quick, because this snowball is getting out of control.
Yeah, it doesn't help the fact that even if we want to see Super Marco to go for the cleanup, Innocent can almost guarantee deal with him 1v1 because he already has the Winds of Nature in his backpack. With 6 kills on the span, 3 kills on Moskov, and 1 on Terizla, SRG are in prime position. Now, I think from SRG's side, the difference between this game and the previous is the fact that they were very honest. But now that they have mechanical heroes that really show the skill expression micro-wise, it's really forcing Falcons AP Brand to take their time, right? Their slow approach has costed them a lot, but right now SRG refusing to make too many mistakes.
Not at all. No mistakes, it seems, right now. Good bulwark there to send it back. Cram taking a whole lot of damage, half HP. Skies again threatening some of these resources, perhaps. Innocent going to be able to go for the invade. Caltese secures the purple buff, so not losing too much here. But again, Falcons AP Brand, a big problem that they're going to have to face is the fact that the base turret up top in the far lane has been taken down. And SRG were already winning out early with the 1-3-1. Caltese got pinned down. Oakwind got baited in towards the jump. Now Flickers back, penalty zone. Crab able to find 3 in the now blast, canceled out by the penalty zone. Innocent in the back, finding the spear of destruction. Meanwhile though, Super Marco gets the blazing duet. Flapteezy absolutely melted down, but they are able to find a trade. Innocent very low, still able to kite back now with Purify as well. Going back and forth, the bulwark. Trading it back, almost bouncing it away. Skies again, trying to go for the assassination. Will be able to escape with the shielding. A good shot down onto Oakwind. It was all just 1 for 1.
No purple buff diff, and oh my god, Oakwind made that work. No, they wouldn't. They can't, right?
2 seconds on Kyle, 1 second on Kyle on that retribution. Now both up. Yums looking for the play, now going to be taken very low. Still has a way to Dragon Skies on it. Retribution. Kyle Tazy steals it away, recovers it for Falcons AP Brennis. Yums gets gunned down by Super Marco, who's going to go for more, but Innocent again with a spear. Now into the back, but it gets bounced back. Oakwind, the master at work.
A double kill. You know what? Let's give it to him. Innocent getting a triple kill. One being himself. Dying to the bulwark. Oakwind 2 times in a row may have just saved them from the checkmate angle on top of a steal from Kyle Teasy. They out-sustained, and the final slash onto Cram. They get this. Well done.
Good displacement. Cram has the penalty zone. Decides to use it onto Few. With a few hammer swings, almost gonna get the trade right now, but gets stunned down. That's another stun into the Vengeance, into the Blooms. But in the bottom lane, SRG are still able to get rid of the Lord.
Look at this, right? Everybody gets chunked out super low. Like, Innocent wants to stay healthy here, but he's getting chunked out as Few walks forward. Those black shoes really making it annoying. He can take as much damage here as he wants to, take the black shoes back, and now he's basically at full health. And then the steal coming in from Kyle because the guys couldn't get the reset. What can you really do about that? And you can tell, even backstage, the rest of the members of Falcons AP Brand, they're loving it. And Yum's probably laughing at his fellow counterpart Golden Laner.
I mean, that's an interaction that everybody wants to see in their ranked games, you know? Like the Moskov killing himself against the Guardian's bulwark. It's not fun as the Moskov, trust me. Not at all.
Just wait for the Star Shatter.
If that actually happens, if you get sniped down by yourself, technically, that'll be the only interaction that tops the Moskov kill, right? Good pin down. And it's not the Super Marco. He's able to react in time, but he does save the Purify. Man, the patience on Marco.
It's crazy. It's really crazy because now it's come to a point where Falcons AP Brand, even if Oakwind gets kicked out of the way, Few can start walking up and get free damage. And more importantly, Kyle TC is now tanky enough to actually push them out of the way. Man, Cram is Wow, okay. Wasn't expecting that much damage to be being pumped out by Super Marco.
Me neither. Sky's trying to bait out a few of these abilities. Super Marco in the back already using the Purify right now. Scrap's going to be pinned down as he goes for the penalty zone. Sky's going to play. Missing the cables, getting stunned up. Still able to get the shielding. Now onto Few, gets the cutthroat. Unable to find for anything else. Few looking for the chase, but Cram is, oh, there you go. It almost hit. Maybe that could have been the one.
No, I don't think he would have died just yet, but at this point in time, it just goes to show they've hit their power spikes. They've finally passed the mid-game into the later stages of the game. They're eventually going to outscale Selangor Red Giants in these super prolonged fights. Every time that Guardian Bulwark comes up, SRG has to completely avoid Ogwin. And now, let's have a look at the items so far, because now I'm finally seeing somebody building some magic resist.
We got the Radiant Armor coming in from Cram, but that's the reason he hasn't really been able to soak in as much damage as possible up against Super Marco. Even with the Queen's Wings, he's still getting shredded down. So maybe go, I don't know, at this point, what does he want to go for, right? Like, do you want to go Blade Armor to try to at least push that damage back onto Marco whenever he does go for a shred? Oh, no, you hate to see it. You hate to see it, Skies. He's been perfect all game. He's 6-0. But it happens to everyone. It's not just you in a ranked game, buddy mans. All you Fanny players, it's not just you.
It happens to the best of us, even to the Prince of the Skies. Oh my goodness. All right, regardless, right, it doesn't mean too much at the end of the day, right? There's a good chance that Super Marco probably might have been able to survive that situation, but here comes the Astro Echo to reveal everybody.
Good shot. He's actually half HP, is able to sustain back up with the DHS and that QC. Back to the Lord now. Gonna be choked down. Sky's in the back line trying to go for a flank angle. Cram taking a whole lot of punishment.
Oh, this is so interesting. This is so very interesting. Because now they find the angle.
Way the dragon, but it's not going to be baited in. Penalty zone locked them down. They're going to blast as well. As that to be Few very low. Still with the help of the damage. Super Marco blazing duet. With the Purify too, chasing onto Stormy, waiting in the back, going back innocent now, finding the kill on the Baptiste. As Super Marco gets taken out, SRG are winning the fight. It's Ogwin who's standing in the middle, all alone, the sole member. It's a roamer and he can't do anything, not against Cram.
And that is it. That's game. That's game number 4. 2-2 here from both of these teams. Well done. This is gonna go the full series here. I can just feel it down in my bones. Hey, wow. You can see that Stormy, he's positioning in a way so that Ogwin is forced to walk and try to cut off as many angles as possible from that Star Shatter, and that opens the back line entirely when Skies is jumping in, especially when he's targeting some of the members like Few, for an example, and forcing everybody to swing to his side of the map in towards that mid lane. I'm surprised that Stormy got away with what he did just now at a sliver of his health.
Really well played. These chaotic team fights really unfolding and being in favor of SRG. The fact that they were always able to find these ridiculous team fights. Those angles were ridiculous. Stormy, he was alone. He was playing like the Fanny, looking for flanks, shooting them from off angles. And it really made Falcon's AP Brand think about all these different angles to a point where they completely forgot about the direct engage from Cram, from Yums.
I think it also comes down to just conditioning, right? Every single time Stormy shoots it, he's always making sure, hey, I'll do it off a cooldown. With that being said, analysts, please take it away.
We have a series now. It's 2-2, so what? This is now a best of 3? The first guy that wins 2 more games wins it all.
And it's mainly because we are now looking at a comfortable Yums and a comfortable Stormy, and of course a comfortable Cram. And you can see them laughing even when they just literally lost a team fight that could have gone really badly for them. They were still laughing. It's because they are comfortable in their own skin. We are seeing like Sakai is just... Oh, by the way, I'm sorry, I'm not familiar about your games. Guys, what a beast with a Fanny. However, yeah, Yums with a choke, you know that it's you know that he is making all of the plays that's necessary for his team. I believe that the Terizla is such a great pick for Cram because it just fits perfectly what he wants to achieve as a player. So I think this should be the hero configuration.
Like the priority.
SRG. Exactly.
How perfect is it that we go full circle? You start off saying, shut down Flap. Flap is one of the catalysts for FCAP success, and they did so in the first 2 minutes of the game. They put Flap on what, 0-3?
0-4 at a certain point.
Right?
Look at this, look at this.
This is,
to some level, even Few couldn't play. Even Few from mid on that Lilia with the Purify, with the Black Shoes, couldn't survive our SRG's aggression. This is FCAP bullied into a corner. Even if they did have a comeback angle in the late game, it was just too little too late.
Yeah, I think now that you're gonna be thinking like, surely the Akai works a lot, but I think that FCAP, they're the ones that aren't comfortable in their own skin. I think they really want to play forward. They want to make sure that they have this claw to go to the late game. However, it wasn't enough in the end. Yums was phenomenal with the Cho. I believe the way that he spaced out in the early stages, and I think it was the Fanny was indeed a problem here.
Can I say I'm impressed by how the players are looking so calm and so composed, because let's see here. My heart rate is 111. I don't know how they can take it.
I remember back in M5 when there was an actual notification.
Yeah, I had a notification. It's like, bro, your heart too fast. Calm down.
You gotta relax. You gotta relax.
Last time that happened, they went 7.
Oh yeah, it could go all the way, because right now they're trading blows, and like our caster said, both teams like blue.
Yep, so far blue side, because you get the Ling, you force your opponents to react towards you, and in this case it's going to be the Fanny, so there will be a little bit of a change up for sure. I think that Falcon's AP Brand might want to consider getting to the blue side once again, and I think the main reason why is because of the presence of the chip. It's like a
auto ban.
It's an auto ban.
You have 2 bans.
Yeah, a mandatory ban, I would say. So that really opened up this Fanny, because the Ling was already banned out, and then they had to be forced to pick up the Fanny. You know?
Yeah. Despite the pick advantage that I'd argue FCAP had, right? Especially in that last phase when they got the Lolita finally, and then the Lilia going up against a Cho and a Novaria.
Yeah.
The play was just what put SRG over. Constant aggression, timing out wherein you're expecting to be able to hold in. Like in the early game in the XP lane, SRG said, "Nuh-uh, FCAP, you ain't playing."
I like how they dealt with it. It's like, okay, let's ignore mid lane, because we are not going to win mid lane anyways. Let's just farm. I'll clear the waves from Novaria. I'll pop second skill and first skill. I'm going to be okay. I'll just get out of there. And then come the mid game, I'm very strong. Fanny did the heavy lifting in the early stages of the game.
Speaking of which, that's our Sony MVP. We got to check out Sakai's on this Ling. I mean, at this point, like, if they win it all, this is, I would say, a good contender for MVP of the Grand Finals.
Fanny. Playing the Fanny.
Yeah.
Yep. Sakai's the limit, as we've mentioned. I think in the... it was part of the first 2 kills. I'll be honest, guys. I went to the comfort room, and then when I get back, it's a 2-0 already for the Fanny.
What happened?
What happened?
It was a 6-0 even, as bad as that.
Yeah.
Like a few minutes later.
I was very fast.
It takes a very special kind of jungler, a very special kind of assassin player to do what Sakai's did here.
Yeah.
He looked at the knob for aggression and turned it up to 11.
Can we talk about his retribution as well? I mean, like, it wasn't really on display for this game. I mean, like, he was able to steal that one, but a lot of steals, even from yesterday, coming in from Skies.
And that's most important. And look at this. They already know that they can initiate. I think Super Marco popped the Purify way too late. Could have gotten out of that, but yeah.
He looks stone cold.
He looks focused.
I think for Yums, it is more rewarding for him to be overly aggressive, and that even when he doesn't have like immediate heroes around him as his teammates, there's always that Fanny factor that is gonna be counted as almost a global hero at that point, especially when you're dominating like that. And it kind of allowed Yums to be to have easy decisions to actually go for initiations.
Yeah, I think that's another key to SRG's success. If you want to keep him winning, number one, put him on heroes that they're comfortable with, or wherein the roles that they're fulfilling are roles that allow for them to get their game plan online. Second is, maybe we're of the mindset that macro is the only way to win. With SRG entering the Grand Finals picture, maybe actually just team fighting up until your opponent can't out macro you anymore is a valid strat. Because that's what happened here.
No, legit, I agree. I'm a big fan of team fighting here, but for now, we have a special bit here where Eterna and Wheezy are talking to the founders of the team, so let's check it out.
Hi guys, it's Eterna here backstage at MSC 2024 with the founder AP as well as the director Jab from Falcons AP brand.
And Steph Weezy here, joined beside me. I have Simon, the co-founder for the Selangor Red Giants, and I also have Nishi, the team manager. Now, we've got some questions for you guys. The Esports World Cup is an event with multiple game titles all across the globe, and MSC 2024 for Mobile Legends Bang Bang being one of them. How does that make you feel about MLBB being a part of this event?
I feel very grateful that Esports World Cup actually recognized MLBB and take them in part of the discipline in the Esports World Cup. So it's fantastic. It's very good for the ecosystem, for Mobile Legends community in whole globally.
So we're gonna throw the exact same question. Did you guys hear it from Weezy? Okay, we're gonna start with you, AP. What do you think about MSC this year?
It's very excited because this is the first EWC. We want to show to the whole world that the AP brand, Falcons AP brand, will still the #1 MLBB in the whole world.
I mean, it's looking like it right now, obviously. But you guys have heard the chants. You guys have heard the support for Falcons AP brand, and you're not even in your home country. By the way, what do you guys think? How do you feel to be celebrated at this magnitude? We'll start with you, Jeb.
We really appreciate all the fans that came in, even our countrymen just visited from far away and just flew in to Riyadh just to support our team. Even the locals, we really like the attention and all the cheering, all that. I think you can hear it too, so we're very, very appreciative of all that.
Now, Nishi, I'm going to extend you the same question. How does it feel to be celebrated on this magnitude? And also, in addition, what message would you have to give out there to the fans supporting the Selangor Red Giants?
Yeah, first and foremost, I feel very grateful that there are some of our players' family that come to here, support us, and also the Malaysian around Saudi Arabia that come today for us. And also, not to forget, our fans from Malaysia and our SRG fans at Malaysia. All right, thank you.
So you guys, we don't want to hold you guys too long. I know you guys are just as nervous as we are. So we had final statements for Falcons AP brand, especially the audience who really came through today, and especially for those of them who are watching online. AP, do you have a message to them?
Thank you to all the Filipino fans and the fans of Falcons AP brand. And I hope that it will be a good match, and I congratulate the SRG as our grand finalist here in EWC. Yeah.
All right, that's it from us, ladies and gentlemen, and we're going to send it back to the studio.
No final words from Simon? I mean,
I think there's Serumpun.
I mean, okay, I would like to hear some words from him. But you know what? MLBB, let it be a mainstay here at EWC. I mean, like, it's been great so far, hasn't it?
Long live MLBB.
Long live MLBB. We're only a few seconds away from entering the draft. Right now, it's a 2-2. So at this point, it's a best of 5. The first team to win 2 games is going to win it all. So again, it's just reset over reset. 1-1, 2-1, 2-2. Yep. What if it's like 3-2, 3-3? It's going to be insane.
I think that's key for FCAP right now. They are in a, I'd say, unfamiliar territory, but that's not true given that they did suffer a 4-0 loss in the grand finals. They did not get a chance to reset there. Now I think the reset is all the more important.
Hey.
It's clear that the picks have to be adjusted for. Here it is again. But also, you have to recall that the tempo has changed.
Yeah, and I also want to say, and I hate that I only remember this now, the grand finals for Falcons AP brand, or when they were brand in M2 and then in M5, they all went 7 games, so they all went the distance.
Are we cutting through multiple timelines now?
Yeah.
Are we throwing back to 3 years ago and to 6 months ago?
Let me just say, 3 years ago feels like yesterday.
Across 3 different parts of the world, Singapore, the Philippines, Riyadh.
Yeah. I think, I'll be happy to be,
take all the best parts of that.
Yeah.
Inject a new superpower in MLBB. I mean, revitalize Malaysian MLBB.
It's the new landscape, right? It's the new competitive landscape. But again, we're jumping into the draft here. I believe even before we see the pick and bans, whoever has blue side has this innate advantage. Like when you have teams that are more or less equal in strength, whoever has the priority just has a little bit more advantage.
Is this Project Next in MLBB Esports?
Project
yeah,
Next Project Forward. Maybe that's the new one, Project Forward.
Project Next
Hey, I think this is the only way to go, right? Forward. For years now, we've played in a macro-centric metagame. We've played wherein trading and cross-map plays matter. With SRG here at the grandest stage of them all, I'm glad to see that, hey, team fighting, skirmishes, and getting kill after kill after kill is what pays off.
Just to update, looks like the bans have started. Falcons AP brand has banned out Angela, Charizla, and Moskov. Looks like they are going to be on blue side first pick. SRG is going to be red side second pick. SRG banned out the Chip, the Julian, as well as the Ling. Falcons AP brand and SRG. Probably Roger first pick?
Harith and Roger are both open.
Roger
it's
first
be
pick.
The Roger first pick for FCAP. And that means...
Does SRG go Fanny?
What about the Harith, right?
Fanny Harith? Yeah, that works.
Harith Valen?
I think I love the idea of the Fanny, actually.
Nobody cares about Loyi anymore, man.
Yeah.
Loyi is so last week.
Loyi is so 3 days ago.
Yeah, Loyi is so 3 days ago.
Yeah.
People move on, man. Like, it's a fast-paced game. You gotta adapt to the meta.
I like the odds for I really like the odds of the Fanny. I would be very happy to see another Sakai's Fanny.
Valentina Harith.
Okay, Harith and Valentina. Very strong combo, obviously.
Pick up the Charizla at this point, right?
Yes.
Pick up the Charizla for Falcons AP brand. Denying it away from Cram.
Yep.
Oh wait, no, sorry. Charizla is banned.
Oh, Charizla is
banned.
Okay, so this is
pick up a Farsa?
So difficult to kind of think there. Do you want to go Farsa against Valentina? Yes, 100%. Apart from that, you pick up Arlott. Arlott is open, right?
Yep. It's open.
But Roger Arlott not. Okay, here we go. Okay.
Or you can go crazy and just pick up a Claude and then put the Roger in jungle.
Or a Moskov.
Early?
Oh, the Moskov
ban. Wait, they pick up the Fanny?
And the Phoveus!
Fanny Phoveus?
That's why I really thought that the Fanny should have been picked by SRG. Do they? So they answer the Fanny with the Hayabusa? Is that how it is?
If you don't pick it up, it's gonna get banned.
Yeah.
Unless you have something like a Hellcrit in mind.
Yeah, well,
or Saber.
Again, this is Phoveus that they're facing, so you need physical damage too to match up against this Fanny.
Wow, Kyle wants to show up his Fanny as well.
Oof. I think, are you forced to go Alpha this time on? Yeah.
What about Boxia?
It's
Alpha. There you go.
Yeah, you're forced to. You're really
okay. I'm gonna take the casters here. This is quite the loop here. What do you guys think of the opener for both teams? Falcons AP brand, they pick up the Fanny. SRG have to respond with the Alpha.
I'm not gonna lie to you, LaFell. I had a sneaking suspicion. Nobody just lets Harith go for free, but at the same time, the Alpha on top of it all, it's a little uncomfortable for me.
Yeah, I think, you know, last game when I saw the Fanny for SRG, I was like, all right, great. But the Alpha, not doing me the same, you know, not giving me the same feelings, definitely, especially considering the Phoveus. He's gonna get so many procs. Luckily, I would say that the Valentina technically can steal away that ultimate, so there's a good response there at least.
Well, the Barats gets banned out, so that's kind of good. Like, I feel like if they're able to do something to flap TZ, like, that might be a way for them to win this one on the red side.
For those who are a little bit confused, yes, it's usually few that handles the Phoveus. So this is going to be a mid lane Phoveus.
I don't foresee this being in Flap's hands.
Yeah.
You still need a solid, I'd say, hunker down type of hero in Flap's hands if this is the first 3 picks for FCAP.
Yeah. I wonder if SRG are considering getting the Esmeralda for... but that means that they will be so focused on magic damage.
It's so reactive.
Yes.
It's again, the story of the Hilda all over again.
Yeah. What I do want to see is Uranus for SRG. However, I believe that the best option here, honestly, for SRG is to pick up a Yuzhong. Lapu Lapu seems an okay pick, but I think the Yuzhong just...
Wait, what about a Grok here? Grok or Cho?
Cho is great overall for SRG.
I'm not so sure if this single-handedly blocks out the Ruby, because Ruby will also proc the Phoveus.
Yeah, that's true.
Might even go into the hands of Ogwin.
Might just go Tigreal at this point.
Tattoo's still open here.
There's SRG.
You also don't want to Cho, one of Yum's favorite.
Yeah. Or, what if this is the game that they pick up Hilda? The Malaysian react.
Yeah, I was waiting for that.
That's... For those who don't know, actually, we cannot see Lafell right now, like our line of sight. Yep, that's the Tigreal. Makes a lot of sense.
Good against the Fanny early, good against the Roger.
Thank goodness. I mean, okay, Gideon, what would you react if they pick up the Hilda?
If they pick I saw his reaction. He was shaking his head already. He was smiling uncomfortably. You called it, Wolf. It was the Malaysian reaction is not good to that Hilda.
I was about to drive my fist through a wall if that was going to be the case.
Yeah. Okay, we're looking for XP lane or maybe a FAMS perhaps for Mr. Flap. Yeah, or they pick up the Yuzhong actually. So they move forward.
But the Valentina is there too, so it's a bit of a risk. Like it's a good pick, but you know there are risks. Maybe even like Lapu or something.
Okay, Edith and Tams as predicted. Okay, now you're left with the Cram Hero, right?
Yep.
Ah, that's this. I think you're stuck with the Borg.
I'm okay with the Borg.
Or if you wanna be risky, go for the CC.
I think the Borg is best. You're gonna need all the extra health you can get.
All right, they pick up the Borg indeed.
Perfect.
Got him.
Thank you very much, analysts. You guys are doing an amazing job in the drafting phase. Speaking of which, casters, you guys are doing an amazing job casting this game. So why don't you guys do that?
Thanks for allowing us to do our jobs, Lafell. The match is about to commence. The points dead even, 2-2 in a best of 5. Well, game 5 in a matter of fact, best of 7. Oh my. I don't know. I'm flabbergasted with this. I don't think anybody was expecting Malaysia to have a performance like this against the Filipino representatives of FCAP nonetheless.
It goes to show you the right side of the bracket that most people said was an easy bracket. How easy was that bracket if this is the grand finals we get to witness?
I don't know, but if SRG is able to take it all the way, it begs the question about all their competitors before them. But it's time as we head into the land of Dawn to prove the theory whether blue side is going to maintain its 100% win rate here in the grand finals with Falcons AP Bread up on blue, SRG up on red.
Let's take a look at this composition, right? The Alpha. I think it's going to be very, very good, especially in the early game. It's really all going to come down to how they can shut down the Fanny. I think it's a similar vision for SRG that Falcons AP Brand had in the previous game, which was go and invade purple buff number 2. Try to just take the purple buff away from the Fanny. And that's what Athamas does find a lot of pressure here. But honestly, when it comes towards, you know, the later stage of the game, I don't know how the Samus will play out against, you know, the Harris, the Alphas, where they're going to be able to actually kind of burst him down. And the Vengeance won't really have the same effect as it did for Falcons AP Brand like it did back in game number 2 for SRG.
No, I can agree with the sentiment here, but I think, you know, especially when you do have the Thamus, it kind of opts to tell you, like, I want to have some form of control and dueling power. Oh, God.
This is it. The Spear of Alpha straight into under the turret skies. Finds first blood again. Calteezy, though, looking for the trade back. Cram under turret, able to flicker out. Skies in the bush. And Calteezy will be able to escape for now. Earth Shatter, flicker onward. Combo together. Kyle gets the response.
They should have been a little bit more decisive on that one. Do you back away or do you just hold your recall? I mean, you're basically dead anyways, but at least they got the flicker out of Ogwin. It's 1-1 in terms of kill score. Everybody's just fighting back for that lead, but this allows Flapteezy to actually try and recover in his lane. He's going to freeze it right underneath his turret, and that's just great for him because as soon as he hits level 4, he's going to be a problem.
And now for Falcons AP Bren, that level 4 power spike is going to be massive as well, by the way.
Huge.
Few, Demonic Force is all he needs, technically for Ogun as well with the Primal Wrath, and it will create a position or a situation where it's going to be very hard for Stormy. Does he steal the Primal Wrath? Does he steal the Demonic Force? Well, that's your answer. He goes for the Primal Wrath over the Demonic Force. So let's see how that plays out.
Yeah, I think for now, especially in the earlier stages of the game, there's taking the Demonic Force, especially, the only person you can really punish is Kyle TZ, right? But even then, these cables are really good. They can cover a lot of distance at a time, and even pulling yourself away from the Demonic Force in a lot of these cases, right? So I think that taking the Primal Wrath is going to be the most optimal. It's good, it's versatile, it keeps you alive in a lot of situations as well. But in the meantime, I'm curious about the status of Innocent dealing with Super Marco. Let's have a quick look at how the state of the lane is going, because I'm guessing that both of these gold laners, they are going to play a little more passively. Oh!
Flicker Implosion, good one by Yoom, straight into the shove. Cram holding on to the last Insanity. Primal Wrath used up, and now it's the last Insanity to blow him up in the back line. Cal TZ finding the trade, and it's going to be 1-for-1 right now. X-Speed traded for Rome. Flap TZ. No vengeance on him. Good Terrify from Stormy. Forcing out a Demonic Force from Few. And just like that, SRG, they're playing their cards really, really well. Now with the cooldown on the Demonic Force, no resets, they should be able to take the turtle for free.
We do see the hand cams from these players. They're trying to...
Their Falcons AP Bren. So now, this is all the payoff. This is their prime form now.
I gotta say, Sakai's is one of those guys where I would say fans of him is like, he's good, he's okay, but he's nothing like special, you know?
Tension is hanging in the air. Heart-stopping climax. This is the clash of true titans. They're not just here to compete. They're here to dominate. They're here to become legendary.
The score is currently 3-2. And now, Selangor Red Giants are 1 win away from being crowned the MSC 2024 champions. Can Falcons AP Bren take us all the way to 7 games?
Now we want to hear from the audience. Let's hear it from the fans of Falcons AP Bren.
Okay, I see you guys. I see the Filipino crowd. I see the Falcons.